Okay.
Not again.
Oh.
The return of the spillage.
This is ridiculous.
Oh, here we go again. Okay. Ooh, okay.
Tim, why? Why, Tim? Why?
Hey, these.
We should just have a supercut of Tim opening beers.
It's
going,
good. It's good.
Oh.
It's only on my hands. We're good.
Also, everybody listening, I know you're listening. Welcome to the show. This is Twofold. Hi, I'm Phil. This is me talking. Third time's the charm.
Who else is on the show, Phil?
Episode
This
3.
seems to be a recurring thing.
Yeah, and then here's
Yeah,
because I'm expecting you guys to pitch in and be like, I'm Tim.
You're the host.
Introduce. Hey, you know.
your guest.
Okay, so I have my
can't see you,
lovely two assistants.
Shut up, Phil.
I have my lovely people here with me. Tim, all the way from a city far away.
Yeah, all the way from Bratislava. I don't like the name of the city. You know, it used to be called.
I don't either.
It used to be called
Pressburg.
Poznan in
Wait,
Hungarian.
what was it called? What was it used
When
to
it
be
was
called?
the Hungarian Empire, it was called Pressburg for the Austrians.
Yes.
Now it's called Bratislava, and it's Pan-Slavic communistic ways. You know what that means? It just means brotherly glory. You know, it's all like Slavic brothers. Brothers, we will be victorious in our Slavic ways. I don't like that name. It's lame.
Pressburg was
But I
cool,
live
you
here.
know. Pressburg.
Yeah, Pressburger.
It's good.
So that's
Very
me,
good.
Tim.
And that's you. And on my left is Jake. Hi, Jake. How's it going?
Hello. Not too bad.
What do you have for drinks today?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Today I have a brewing company called Polar Monkeys. The beer is a blue collar amber lager.
Wow.
Their little tagline at the bottom is pretty good. It says, created by monkeys, brewed by
That's
pros.
great.
That's good. I think Carl
that's cool.
Pilkington would appreciate your beer.
Beard by
Well, I think
monkeys.
you would.
Yeah,
I believe this
for
is
sure.
a UK beer. And that is my drink of choice today.
No way.
Lovely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. I want to start out this show by just saying that there's going to be spoilers, so I don't have to put this at the beginning again,
Clever.
like we did last
Clever girl.
time.
I
all
like
the
it.
time.
It's chaotic. It scares people.
It is. It is chaotic. It's chaotic. It's frightening. It's scary. But you have to get through it. You know, you are your own worst enemy. And
It's true. You must be warned.
yeah, as
What are you drinking,
one of the
Philip?
characters, I
Yeah,
am
what are you
drinking a
drinking?
lovely, nice tea, a very nice, humble tea from Lidl. If anybody knows what Lidl is over there, it's
Oh,
very
we
much
talked
like
about
Aldi.
it. No, it's
We
what was
did.
it? It was Kmart.
It's like Kmart. It's like Kmart in America.
It's where you get Old Glory.
Yeah, Phil, why didn't you get Old Glory?
How can I?
true.
I'm not in the States right now. I can't. I can
Order
import
one
it.
online. I bet there was on Amazon you could get
Oh,
Old
man.
Glory, like a bucket.
I bet
All
there
right.
is.
Well, let's see if I can. Actually, I'm going to check it right now. Old Glory.
So you're drinking a
So
tea.
you're just drinking old tea?
Anything
Just
else
tea?
with that tea, buddy?
Well, I mean, we'll find out later.
The old
Find
Phil
out later.
reveal. Phil reveal.
Oh, he's gonna like okay, and you know
Milks
what?
it.
My choice of beverage,
Okay, let's hear.
alcoholic beverage for this episode, ties in with the theme of the movies.
No way.
Well, not exactly, but it ties in with the first movie. The first movie is very, very mainstream. It's pop. It's mainstream.
Yeah.
So my beer is very, very mainstream. Both of
Ooh.
my beers are very, very mainstream. And it's not because I forgot and went to the store about 5 minutes before recording and it's the only beer I could find. No.
No,
It's
no,
not because
no.
it fits the theme.
Yes.
So my
it
first
fits the
beer
theme.
is a very mainstream beer. It is the most known Irish beer. A Guinness.
Really?
It's a Guinness. Oh, that's classic. Classic.
Guinness Drought Stout with a little floaty thing that I don't know never what it is because I never cut open the can. So who knows what is in there? Some kind of magical item that keeps
I know
it
what
all
it is.
Guinnessy.
It's a little
What is it?
plastic ball, right?
The little plastic ball. Yeah, I think that's like a Guinness copyright. Not a copyright, but like a patent or
Patent.
something like that.
Yeah, but I don't know
You
what
think
it
they
is.
would
That's-
makes the Guinness a little bit better than. But there's no Guinness like a draft from in Ireland. It's just like it's just that's the best.
You said draft,
You
right?
said draft.
Because
But
you said
I'm
draft
confused.
before.
Why wouldn't there be a Guinness draft in Ireland? Isn't that where it's from?
No, I'm just saying there's no draft Guinness like the one in Ireland. Like they taste different. There's something's wrong with them. Like I had many Guinness, on tap around the world, and it just doesn't taste the same. I don't know why.
And did you have the one in
Not like,
Ireland?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. It's different. It's better.
is it fizzy?
I don't know what the difference is. It's just it tastes better.
Because I wish that
That's
It's just
great.
something about in Ireland. I don't know. Maybe
There's something
in
about it.
transportation something goes wrong. I
Maybe.
don't know. I don't know what's wrong.
Gets too fizzy.
no. I wanted
The weather's
it-
not. I don't know. Who knows?
I wanted to say that
One of these
I
days.
wish that Guinness had a bit of fizziness, but it doesn't.
Mm-mm. But it's not. That's not the Guinness ways. You have a nice little foam. If it's put properly on tap, you get a nice thick foam on the top. You know how to test a good Guinness? If you can take 2 pounds coined, put on the top of the foam, and if it stays there, that's a good Guinness.
Is that real?
I don't know. I've heard it
man.
many times, so it
It's
could be
probably
like
in
an urban
commercials.
legend.
There's a lot of things like that.
I was
that
really
they do.
hoping-
But
It could
we
be
should
true.
try it one time. Go to Ireland and put the 2 pounds.
Yeah.
2 pounds is pretty big.
Yeah, I was
It'll
wondering
hold it.
how that would work.
We
Maybe
have
like-
euros in Ireland. Euros.
Maybe like that's true. €2. Well, I lived in Northern Ireland, so we had pounds.
Oh
but,
yeah. See,
But
that's
here's the
that's
question:
difference.
is Northern Irish Guinness different from true Irish Guinness?
no,
Guinness.
I had them both up and down. I guess traveling on the island still makes it
It's
good.
still good, but then it gets rough and tumble once they start exporting.
Yeah. The salt of the earth ways. Those rough
Salt
and
of the
tumble
earth
ways.
too
Too
You have to
salty,
know.
too earthy. Just too many ways.
So can you buy Old Beaver? What's it called?
Old Beaver. Actually, I did find it. Old Glory energy drink. One customer review. 3 out of 5 stars on Amazon.
pretty high.
Sounds about right.
Not bad, not good. Yeah.
I can add it to my list, and I will see how much the import charges cost. Let's see.
Definitely,
$1,000.
definitely worth it. Just so worth it for that generic Old Glory.
It's not showing me any of that. I'm sorry. I've failed
That's okay.
everybody. Anyway, here is the theme song.
Wait, before we get there, Tim, do you have another beer or no? Or just
I
to
do
give
have
us-
another beer.
What?
No, I have another very mainstream beer.
Should we reveal that when we come there?
I'll reveal it when I
There we
read it.
go.
I
That's
have
a
another
better.
one,
That's a
too.
better way of flowing this in. So yes. Hi.
Shall we play this song again? Because
Play the song!
And we are back from our second.
We're back. Hi, how's everybody doing? I'm excited because today this is the show where I brought the movies, I suggested the movies, and I have to say, guys,
What's the name of the podcast, Philip?
it's Twofold. That's the podcast. If you haven't seen it on
Welcome
the
back, people.
on the
Welcome
screen.
back. 3rd episode. We're back at it again. We haven't given up yet.
No,
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 not
we're
yet.
still going. We're still going.
It's Phil's movies this week.
That's right. These are my movies. Now, I have to say, everybody, so here's the thing. When we look for movies, the thing is, I can't just bring any movie that I want to bring.
What do you mean? You can bring any movie from the cinema.
That's the thing. It's from the cinema. Now, I don't have much history with this franchise. And I don't know if any of you guys do either, but it is called Hobbs and Shaw. It's Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. And I mean, like,
So why did you pick this movie?
why did I pick it? Because, like, what else was there that we could? There's something.
The crocodile movie? There was a crocodile movie.
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I know. Crawl. We could have done that,
Yeah,
and we could have watched
that was good.
Slither. That would have been
So
something.
there's like a comedy with Seth Rogen.
You see, that's something that isn't on my radar. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Something that I wouldn't be
It's your
able to-
choice, man.
So
your
within
choice.
this limited pool of things that I can decide this month in cinemas now, it was Hobbs and Shaw. It was this action film, this buddy action movie that came out just like a week ago, didn't it?
Yeah. It's like a spin-off of Fast and Furious.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you guys, what is your history with the Fast and the Furious films? How many of them have you seen?
All of them.
What?
2.
Yes, all of them.
Really?
Yeah. Wait,
saw
Jake,
all.
which ones did you see?
1 and 4.
1 and 4.
That's right. Same thing. Me
What's
too.
number 4?
It was really boring.
It was pretty bad.
But which one is that? Is that the Tokyo one?
No,
It's
that's
after the
Tokyo
Tokyo
Drift.
one.
That's number 3.
That's number 3.
Number
I don't remember
4.
something about like sunsets and trucks.
No,
Well-
and Vin Diesel getting like flashbacks of someone who died. His sister
yeah.
died, didn't she?
Something like that.
I think that's what it was.
There's many people die, and then they come back.
Oh yeah,
they're
the movie was called Fast and Furious.
That's right.
Fast. Yes. Oh, that was the yes.
No,
That was like
Fast
the
and
reboot.
Furious.
Yeah, I saw all of them. Since
That's
beginning.
amazing. I didn't know that.
It's not like I'm a fan, but I did enjoy, especially the later ones. I enjoy it as a one time kind of thing. I never rewatch them, but I enjoy them. And I think Emma has a crush on the guy who died. What's his face?
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker. So that's why it's like a tradition to go see these see these movies, and I enjoyed myself. And well, I don't remember what I think Paul Walker is an FBI agent at the beginning, and he goes
Yeah, this is the
undercover,
first
right?
movie. Yes.
Then they can be buddies, right? Because they're racing in the street.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, compared to this film and the first movie, the first movie is kind of like a very down to earth, salt of the earth, rough and tumble.
It's true. It's true. Very down here.
It's by the way, that first movie is directed by Rob Cohen. I don't know if anybody
That's
really
true.
knows
Who's that?
about what he's all about, but he directed Dragonheart, which was one of my favorite childhood films. And it's
we should
funny.
watch that again.
Yeah,
I haven't
Dragonheart.
seen that in like years.
Oh, Phil, I have a story about Rob Cohen and Fast and Furious.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So Rob Cohen also did a film called Triple X with Vin Diesel.
Oh yes.
Oh, did he? Oh man, that's a
And
bad movie.
When we watched Triple X as kids, we rented it and we watched it, and then we had the commentary track.
By the way, Bratislava is in Triple X. By the way, if you know.
That's
Yes.
They go to a
It
club in
is.
Bratislava.
And he's like, I love to party. And the commentary track,
Martin Suckus, yeah.
yes,
Go on.
the commentary track was on the DVD, and me and Phil watched it. And one thing I remember about Rob Cohen distinctly was when there's a shot of Vin Diesel, Triple X's car. Actually, what is Triple X's name in the movie?
Isn't it
Xander
Triple X?
Cage.
That's it.
Cage.
When Xander Cage's car pulls up and there's a shot of the back of the car, Rob Cohen goes, you know, when you make a movie just about cars, you learn how to shoot cars.
He's talking about Fast,
Fast
and Furious.
yeah.
Wait, Fast and Furious was before Triple X?
I believe
I think
so.
it was, yeah.
That's why the comment would make sense, right?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like. That's a
But I
long
wanted
time
to
ago.
mention about Fast and the Furious. Like, we watched it maybe one or two times. The first one, I don't know why. I'm not a big car
dude.
person. I wouldn't be able to tell. Like, whenever I get an Uber and it says what type of car it is, like it's a white Honda, like it's a white Mazda 780, and I'm like, great, it's white.
dude.
I always just look at read the license
Get
plates.
into the thing of buying a car. It's like I didn't know nothing about cars. I couldn't tell you one single model. I had to buy a car, and it's just like you go through everything, and then you're like, then you recognize it all. It's insane because there's not that many actually car makers. Yeah,
That's
there's
true.
a lot of them,
That's
but
true.
but as far as like mainstream production, what people buy is it's only like 30. You know,
So do you guys
the big
remember
30.
watching the first movie, and what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to say it was kind of dull. It was not very fun for me to watch. I really did not enjoy it too much. But the point I was trying to make is that it's so serious. It's down to earth. It's about undercover cops invading car thieves, the world of these car thieves who are stealing cars and putting NOS in it and making them go fast and doing races. And it's like, are you an undercover cop? I was never an undercover cop. I'm an undercover
I know
cop.
another line from the first movie. Vin Diesel tells Paul Walker, I asked you to get me a 10-second car, not a 10-minute car.
oh, I don't.
And I don't remember
clips.
what does that mean to get like a 10-second car? Like, does it
I guess it goes
From a certain-
1 to 60 in 10 seconds, but that's slow.
slow, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not good. You want like 3 seconds. That's like insane, like a Tesla.
Yeah.
But I have to say that even though you say that, like that's it's down to earth, salt ways, but I don't think that it. Yes, the antics got up and the you know the craziness level went up, but they always kind of remained salt of the earth to me. Like Vin Diesel's always there to go. Oh, let's have some Coronas and barbecue.
The Coronas,
Pray to-
yeah.
And pray to God and thank you for this lunch. And it's all about the family.
I think,
like
honestly,
first they're racing, and then they have their Coronas. Yes, later on they stop a plane with cars, but in the end they go back to their barbecue and then Corona, and he goes, "It's all about the family."
Well, that's what I wanted to say. I feel like that because my experience with the Fast and Furious films after one was basically just seeing the trailers, and what I got from the epic story of all the trailers I've seen throughout the years was that it's all about the family.
Because it's like Dragon Ball Z. It's basically every movie they're like, "Oh, we went back to the family, we're chilling," but then something happens. Someone frames them, someone blackmailing them, somebody like a friend of them is captured or
It's
died.
like Dragon Ball, isn't it? Let's go to our barbecue.
And then they just want to go back to their barbecue, but always something happens, so they have to get out their cars and they need nitros. And they save the earth, and
They save the earth, and then it gets like it just keeps
they go back to
escalating.
family. Yeah, and they get new crew members. Some die off, and it's like Dragon Ball Z because every bad guy of the last movie becomes the good guy. The next one. I'm serious.
I only know it just by looking at the cast, on all the posters. That's
like they're
all
returning,
I know.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I see how that is. I've not seen them. Oh, I'm sorry. I have started watching the sixth one on a plane at one point.
I have to say, from 5 to 8, it's all mushed into one movie in my head, so I'm not sure. But I can tell you how Hobbs and Shaw got introduced into the series.
Yeah, please tell us.
Yes, tell us.
Hobbs was, if anyone's listening and I'm doing this wrong, please correct me. But I remember in 5, that was the one that went like a little bit crazy. We went to see it and we're like, wait, this is a Fast and the Furious movie? What the hell's going on? Like it went like crazy level, right? So that one, what's Rock's character name? Is he Hobbs or Shaw? He's Hobbs, okay. So Hobbs
Very memorable
was
film.
like a Southern cop kind of guy, and he
Southern
was
California.
tasked. No, he was like a Southern dude.
Oh, was
they changed it? They changed it.
They
He was like-
changed it.
They
Oh,
changed
this is
it.
hilarious. Okay, go on. Keep going.
And the funny thing is, because excuse me, I remember The Rock like from previous movies. Like, what was he in? The Scorpion King, and then like the
That was his
weird,
first movie,
like
Scorpion
center
King.
to the planet of the Earth.
It was Mummy Returns. This was his first movie.
Yeah, but like I remember like him being in like stupid movies and him doing the eyebrow thing, right?
Yeah,
And
that
then-
was back
and then-
before with
and
his
then-
wrestling persona.
I don't remember anything except seeing him in Fast Furious 5, and then you have Paul Walker, which is just a dude, right?
He's just a
Then
dude.
you have then you have
Just
Vin
a dude.
Diesel, who is like a big dude next to him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Bald, muscly. So he's like the big dude. It's like boom, boom, boom. And then The Rock comes in this movie, and then Diesel looks like a regular dude next to him, and you're like, I was just like, I knew of The Rock, but I don't know. I guess I didn't pick up on him or anything
So
like
he
from
was that
wrestling or other
large?
movies. And it was just, what is this? This guy's neck is bigger than Vin Diesel's head. I just remember watching the entire movie, just looking at that guy like, what is this mountain walking around? And he's just like, he's not
a
a
rock.
bad guy, but he's like a cop who, he has a personal vendetta against the guys, but he's tasked to stop them. But then towards the end of the movie, he learns their salt of the earth ways and he becomes their friend.
I think
Reluctantly,
that is the,
friend.
Excellent.
key phrase
And then they
of
keep
this
calling
episode.
him for help. I think in 6 or 7, there's one point when he has a broken arm. and
Yes,
they're, like,
that's the
calling
one I
him.
watched on the plane, and I was like, "Yeah, this is great."
There's an amazing scene when they're like, "We need your help," and he's like in a hospital and he has like a cask, and he's just like, "I'm coming." Just breaks the cask all off, cast off his hand. He's just like, "I'm going to help," and there's like a helicopter shooting things.
Wow.
I don't know. So he's now, and then he's like their friend, right? Cop friend who does stuff for them. But then there's Shaw, who at the end of either 5 or 6 or 7, one of those, their character Han, I think that's a part of their crew. He is killed. Yeah, he is killed at the end of one movie. He's like in Tokyo or something like that, and somebody kills him. Right? Han is a dude. He's part of their crew, Van Diesel's crew. He's like their car guy, right?
Okay.
And then you have Jason Statham come, like he's the killer, right? So then the next movie comes and they're trying to kill Jason Statham, right? and they defeat him.
I don't know. You've
But then
seen
the
them.
movie
I can't say yes.
I'm just so he's teased as a bad guy. So at the end of one movie, the movie after he is the bad guy, and then they try to stop him, and then the movie after they invite him to help, and they never talk. I don't remember them ever talking about him killing their friend. I think they tried to retcon that he was framed or something like that, but he at the end of like that movie, he's like he totally kills him. He just kills the guy. I have no idea.
What's just as inconsistent as Dragon Ball is.
So it sounds like it's a bit of a mess.
Other
the
characters
series.
like
So
that.
yeah, so they were like sort of bad guys that became good guys, and I think in the last one they're like sort of doing the whole, "Oh, you're Hobbs and Shaw, I don't like you," and such nonsense. But
Which is the movie.
Let me start off to talk about this movie, and let me just say one thing. I've seen all the Fast and Furious movies. This is no Fast and Furious movie. Nope.
No?
It's a
This movie
spin-off.
was lame. This movie was
This movie was
lame. You know the salt of the earth ways. You know how like I told you about all these movies that the stakes go higher, the action goes higher, and everything, but it's always about the family. And I sincerely think that Vin Diesel believes in that. Like, there's a certain genuinity to these movies. I think they take themselves seriously, even though it's crazy.
Do you think so?
But I think they somehow believe in these movies. It's not artificial. It doesn't feel studio produced. Yes, there's sequels and everything, but I think they just have a genuine good time and they like each other, and they just, when in the send off to Paul Walker, and everything, there's a certain wholesomeness to it. Maybe not something that I would, appreciate, but as direct ways. I'm not a guy who wants to drink Corona, have barbecue, and steal cars, obviously. But there's something to it which this movie lacks absolutely. This is just a corporate. Oof, this was so shallow, this movie.
Okay.
It hurt me. So
That
yeah,
was
I just
interesting.
wanted to say that.
All right. Well, I haven't seen any of the Fast and the Furious films, other than the first one, a bit, and the fourth one, which I completely forgot, and a little bit of the sixth one or whatever. And just that, for me, and I think Jacob agrees, I think we both have the same kind of thought about this. We thought it was hilarious.
Which one?
I thought it was so... This movie. This one. Hobbs and Shaw. I thought it was just good old fighting action fun with the funniest, like the plot is so good because it's so like
stupid. But
it
in a good way.
reminds me. Yeah, that's
In a
what I
good
feel.
way.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like stupid and goofy, and it was just
And I think
the
that
way,
the way
it felt like it knew what it was.
Yes.
That's what it feels like to me.
Exactly.
And I haven't seen the other Fast and Furious movies about family, so I didn't.
Yeah, I haven't
I don't
either.
know about that.
But I think that it definitely felt like it was self-aware and it was being silly, and it knew it was being silly.
That's what I didn't like about it. I can't believe I'm about to say it, but it was tainting the name of Fast and Furious.
What? I thought this was all the Fast and Furious movies. That's what I think.
Because they take themselves. Yes, they're crazy, but they never make fun of themselves. You know what I mean? I think Rock and Jason Statham think they're above the Fast and Furious movies. They're like, we're gonna use.
Really? Is that what
we're
you're
gonna
thinking?
we're gonna use this whatever
Vehicle.
this hype as vehicle. Yes, nice pun. That was created, and we're gonna make our own movie, and we're not really comfortable of taking ourselves seriously. This is a bit of a a silly kind of franchise, so let's just silly it up there. And the problem was like the silly was just so tropey and so overdone and everything that it was just like I was just annoyed.
So you didn't find it enjoyable?
Nope, not at all.
Really?
This was a pain. This
No
movie.
Wow.
way.
Interesting. I
That was
thought
fun.
the same
Yeah. Opinion.
impression of it because I thought it was just. I had fun watching it. I was entertained by watching it.
Yeah, me too.
It's not something I will ever watch again, but I had fun. I think it was just delightful because, Tim, I don't know if you remember the old days of PD Works.
Yeah.
We made for people who don't know, there's this thing called PD Works that I made up. It was a company with quotation marks, company. When I was 10, I used it as a production name, before movies that we used to make when we were kids. We used to make a lot of films, really short, no budget films. And we used to make them like a machine. It was ridiculous. It was like a factory-driven, crazy thing. We made all kinds of different genres, we copied all kinds of different stuff. We just had a lot of creative fun, and I feel like that was fun. Jake was the main actor most of the time because he was my brother and he was there. I was always directing and, making up ideas and stuff like that. And many of those films, I think I just had so much fun watching this movie because it felt like those movies. It felt like
you're not going to believe, but I have the actual same note. It just felt like everything's a first take and everything's written on the spot.
Yeah,
there's so many jokes that feel like, hey guys, why don't we do this funny bit where there's a scene where there's an FBI agent and Jason Statham's or the lady is like, oh, you're a CIA agent, and he's like, yeah, I am, and they have a little talk, and then the two CIA agent, I'm not gonna reveal, spoilers, whatever, talks. It's just he talks to Ryan Reynolds, and he's like, oh, we're gonna get him, don't worry, and then they do this stupid joke. I don't remember what the joke was, but the way they act is like, well, what you gonna do? You gotta get him somehow. I just felt like Phil acting in the P Works movie so much. It was just like the first joke that comes to your mind, go on a camera, do it. Yeah, that's good enough.
But that's the fun part.
That's what it sounds like
about it.
I thought I think that was fun. I think maybe this might have. I thought this was what most people were thinking because I'm thinking it, obviously. But I guess it might just be a very small personal reason why I enjoyed it.
But no, I wouldn't say.
I totally understand. I understand what you're saying, but this movie felt cheap because of it, and cheap because of other ways I'll explain as well. But it was
okay.
It just felt like such a cash grab. Like there was they had no idea what to do with this movie.
Well, that's what it feels like for sure. And I did feel like it was a cash grab. I didn't feel like it was in any way something that I will. Like I said, it's not something that I would watch again.
Like we'll take the Fast and Furious stuff. We'll mix in a bunch of tropes that It felt like writers. There was like a writer room movie, right? A bunch of writers sitting in a restaurant on a napkin, writing this movie. Oh yeah, remember when they did this in that movie? Yeah, we'll put that in.
Well, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, he's one of the producers, so he was definitely in that conference.
Yeah, he was just in the room. He's like, yeah, that's good.
What if we did that? Yeah, that's great. I watched this movie from PD Works. It was really good.
Exactly.
I want the bad guy to say that.
So.
But I think
let's tell us about a brief plot.
Yeah.
Okay, so this masterpiece of a film starts out with people stealing a virus. There was a virus that was made. It will destroy the world if it's injected. And
PD Works. Okay, here.
Yes,
let me stop you
absolutely.
for a second.
Wait, then Bionic. Okay, go on.
You know why this movie's cheap, right? They always talk about what the virus does, but you never see it.
But that's what I like.
Your guts.
That's what I
fall
like
out.
about
It's like
it.
It's such a cheap thing. It's like,
but it's so cheap. But
there'll be a lot of CGI to do that. And we have to get an art director to do that. We don't need an art director. Just use every generic uniform, every generic place, every generic gun, every generic car.
But that's right.
Whatever we have in stock, use it. We don't need to hire anyone extra. Let's just do this movie as soon as possible while the Fast and Furious is hot.
Absolutely.
Do it. Continue with the plot. Sorry, I just had to say that.
Okay, so this virus is going to destroy the world, but you never see it being destroyed, by the way, spoilers. And then guess who shows up at this, what were they doing? They were like transporting this virus in a big case in a warehouse. Guess who shows up? Bionic Idris Elba.
Oh, this first, but it was the girl. And
the girl.
Everyone has masks of the police except the girl.
Of course, because you have to identify who the girl is.
By the way, last episode we were saying that I enjoy going to the cinemas because to a movie that somebody tells me to see because I don't know what's it going to be about and I haven't seen the trailer.
Oh, this is the opposite.
The trailer for Hobbs and Shaw, right? Knew nothing. Sat down. Within 10 minutes, I knew exactly what's going to happen, and everything happened according to plan, except the third act. With a weird
we'll
island.
get there. We'll get to that third act.
That I didn't expect,
something.
I have to say.
Okay. So there's this female non-NPC character.
Lady.
Yes.
From Mission Impossible, I think that's what I remember.
From Mission Impossible. Which one? Not Fallout, the other one.
The last one, wasn't it?
The last one. The good one.
With Superman with a mustache. was
That's
amazing
right.
there.
The DC killer. And
That's the reason for the mustache.
yeah. And what does she do? She infiltrates. No, she doesn't. She's guarding the I don't remember this.
No. There's somebody's transporting the virus, and the
Yeah.
cops are coming to take the virus away.
That's right.
But then she is stopped by bionic Idris Elba.
Yes.
But then she has all her crew is killed, and she has nothing else to do. So she takes the virus and puts it in her body and runs away.
Thank you. Good. Yeah, she runs away, and then
figured out, was she a good guy or no at the beginning?
yeah.
I mean, like his whole, like I said, he was a bad guy in the original series, and then became good-ish, and his family is full of criminals, so they're all good-ish. I mean,
Yeah,
his
they're
mom is
like
in
Robin
prison.
Hood. You know, it's the Robin
The
Hood
last name is
stereotype.
Goodish.
It's like,
I don't know. He killed Han, so I don't know. I
Gruber?
gotta check if I don't know. I don't know if he killed Han. He killed someone. I gotta check who killed.
okay.
Continue with the plot.
All right. And so the government or whoever, the good guys have to call in Hobbs and then call in Shaw to get that virus back. Isn't that what it is? And they have to be partners and they hate each other.
No reason whatsoever. There's no explanation why. It's like they don't even bother saying, there's no reason why they're together except for the movie needs them to be. They didn't even bother making up a reason.
Like, for instance, the intro where they show the differences between like them waking up in the morning. Like, it's so cliche, but that's why I like it, because they know that you know that there's like that doesn't have to even be a reason. It's just, this is a buddy cop movie, and we're starting with that.
You gotta try a little bit.
No, but that's
like,
the thing.
There's
Their premise
buddy
is
cop
they're
movies.
not trying at all, and in not trying, that's the movie.
That's what makes it funny.
Exactly.
I don't know. That's just what it feels
I don't know,
like to
like,
me.
Because I like
It's the
to see,
salt
I
of
like to
your
see
ways.
how
Make it
lazy it
ridiculous.
was.
Think of something ridiculous. Like yeah, that's the problem. It's lazy.
Yeah, but
It's
I
really,
like
really,
the
really
laziness.
lazy.
I like to see laziness on screen, but it's like, we're just making something, whatever. I like that.
Yeah, that's what I feel about
And that's
it.
why
as
it's like
well.
sort
I
of when
just-
you said like it does not honorable and stuff. Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
What's it
exactly.
called?
Back to the Future.
Fast and the Furious.
Fast and
I haven't
Furious.
seen the movies, but
Fast to
for
the
me, this
Future.
is like a good example of when someone says, "Oh, I just went to the movie to watch a mindless film." Like, this is a great example for me. It's like it's a throwaway movie.
It's a bit too mindless. It's like
no, that's the point. It's like the
the
throwaway
point, it's
film
like-
where it's like you go
yeah.
and you just watch, and
Listen.
people do tropey things and they jump around and they say silly things.
But I like mindless movie where it doesn't do tropey things. I like mindless things
that's-
because it's stupid, because it
That-
goes
that's its
places
whole
you
other
don't
category.
expect it to.
Yeah, I
That's
agree
a-
with
like,
Phil.
that's
I
what
agree
I
with
like.
Phil. It's a different
Category, and I
category,
agree.
yeah.
I don't want to watch 2 hours
But
of tropes.
what I wanted to say, Tim, what I wanted to say
Yeah.
was, if it wasn't for this podcast, we wouldn't have seen this film. I don't think.
is
I
true.
wouldn't.
That's
I would
true.
never have seen this movie.
I wouldn't have. Yeah, I
true.
wouldn't be interested either. It's not.
I think we can agree none of us would go watch this.
No, definitely not.
But anyway, the buddies and Ryan Reynolds is there for some reason. Was he in the other movies, Tim?
Nope. This is a new thing.
This was
This is
that
Ryan
was
Reynolds is just
random
doing
and jarring.
his Pikachu / Deadpool.
Yeah,
thing.
he's just doing the same
It's
acting.
like every character is here is like, Raw calling up people like, hey, can you do the Pikachu thing? Like the Ryan, just it's fine. We'll pay you money. We're good buddies. Kevin Hart, come in. We were in.
Oh yeah, Kevin
in
Hart.
Jumanji, just come in. It's fine. You have a bit. Just
That's
ad lib
true.
some stuff.
Yeah.
No point. It's just we'll get a plane for some reason.
Yeah,
That's what
and-
you help.
Well, what they do is they reluctantly. I mean, I think what's his name, Hobbs, is able to retrieve the woman,
Which turns out to be a sister,
turns out to be a sister,
and
and,
apparently she and The Rock have hots for each other. And it's the most unchemistry.
oh yeah,
Thing
For
ever.
sure.
He looks like he's about 1,000 years older than her,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Yeah.
about 1,000
And
miles
also
higher than
1,000 times
her.
bigger
Yeah.
too.
It's the most uncomfortable thing that I
Yeah.
witnessed on screen.
I didn't expect that to happen. To be honest, I thought that I don't know why I had faith in the fact that something might happen that's different to cliche, but I thought that wouldn't be a thing.
Well, I'm just
Starting
like,
out.
there's one point when
Um,
she sits in his lap in a car, and I'm like,
Oh yeah,
I feel
that was
disgusted because it's just the proportion. It looked like a man and a little girl, and I'm just like, this is just really bad.
That was not so great.
I need to erase that from my head.
Yeah, well, too bad you're on this podcast reliving the memories.
True, I am reliving. The third act is
so
is giving me
hijinks
a
ensue,
migraine.
and they do a lot of
act is the best
fighting, and they
act.
do.
They do
Yeah.
the worst fighting in the world.
I don't know. I thought it was all right. I was entertained.
Dude, come on. This was the you get like these action heroes, right? And you do the fast cut wibbly wobbly camera move, which is like on a, I don't know what kind of zoom lens that was, but it's like you can't see anything. There's not a like there's some action shots with the cars that are clear because they're CGI, but anything to do with the actual actors, I couldn't see anything that's happening. It's like it's worse than Bourne trilogy.
Marvel
Like,
films.
well, it depends which ones.
Guys, my secret is that I have a hard time paying attention to action sequences. I oftentimes when I watch them, I kind of just think like, when is this going to be finished?
Yeah. But that's because
In general.
the second movie you
In
watched
general,
today
for all
has
movies.
really good action scenes, and I'll tell you specific reasons why. But this one, there wasn't a single satisfying action scene. I don't know, like there was nothing clever.
I thought the going down the building was relatively interesting when they were just jumping down the London building.
Look, I
guess.
I'm not the guy to go.
I'm
say
not
that's
defending
not,
this film.
No.
by the way.
I just wanted to say my opinion. I'm not saying I'm not the guy who goes, "Ooh, that's unrealistic." I mean, they stopped a plane with cars in Fast and Furious, but just jumping out of a 100-story building
Oh, this is what I want to ask you too.
and then surviving that while holding onto a rope with bare hands. Come on, you a little bit something. Give us a little bit something. I mean, yeah, if they were superheroes or superhuman.
Well, one comment I
come
had
on.
when I left the theater was that they could have even gone wackier with this movie.
Dude, so much more, and that's why I'm pissed off. That's why it's cheap. Okay, so
Right, yeah.
let's talk about Idris Elba, the superhuman. What is he
I-
superhuman
guys.
of? What does he have? He has stronger arms. Is that's what his superhero?
He has bionic reflexes and augmented body parts or whatever.
That gets old so like he gets
course
upgrades
it
about
does.
4 times. He gets upgrades 4 times in that movie.
I know he does. It's
What does he get?
Stupid.
Nothing. He's still the same. I was expecting him to grow a 3rd arm out of his back and just start choking the Rock. You know what happens? Nothing happens because they don't
course
have an
nothing
art
happens.
director, apparently. I don't know. Someone to draw like a hand that comes out.
I get it, but this
They
is
have a
gonna
deadly
sound-
virus that's melted people.
I
Do we
know.
get people melted? Nope.
Nope. But here's what's gonna shock you. I don't know. Maybe it's not gonna surprise you. But for
Okay.
me, Idris Elba's character, personally, me personally, he was the best part of the movie.
He
And I'm
the
going to
girl-
tell you why. I'm going to tell
Okay.
you why he was. Because
Why?
he made me laugh every time he was on screen. And every time he delivered his monologues, it just... Jacob, do you remember? Like, I was just laughing all the time. Soon this world will be mine.
Oh, dude. Do we have
We're
like
going-
do we have like a Tim annoyed sound? Because you know they use that trope that I hate.
Which one?
We talked about this on a podcast before. The one that like gets me riled up. I just
Oh,
want to
yes.
choke people.
I know what you think.
let me
Come on,
think,
come on,
let me
Phil.
think.
Come on, Phil.
You're saying something.
I have talked about this on the old
something
podcast.
that, bad guy.
It pisses me off
tropes
every time.
that they do, or that's something they say.
Something they don't something that's scientific they do not understand, and they use it for the bad guys always. You can't stop evolution. It's the next step.
yes, of
Oh.
It's like they always go with this like one of the bad guys is like it's like an enhancement or something like that, and they're like with the next step you guys are behind.
It's so good.
natural
It's so
selection.
funny.
Right.
I just like it's like that's not how evolution works. You're tempering.
Yeah,
it.
the
It's not the
evolution.
We
environment.
talked
It's
about
like
this extensively on the Matrix
I
Minute.
did, and it's just
On the
like,
Matrix Minute. Everybody who wants to know, go to the Matrix Minute. It's
I don't
about
know if
episode
Americans
30-something.
are scared of
100.
evolution or something like that, but that's used so much. It's like, oh, he's bad. He's talking about evolution. That man.
And it's funny that
And
it's
he's like,
still being used if you think about it. Like this is a brand new
but I
film.
don't think it's used by anything except low level trash like this.
Oh,
I
this
think
is,
it's just
here's a
scraping
great quote. Here's a great quote. I'm indeed the future of the planet. I'm the necessity shot to the system. I am human evolutionary change. bulletproof, superhuman. So good. It was so funny. I loved it so much because it felt like our old PD Works movies. So good.
I agree with you, felt with
It was
but
so good.
I
It was
did
so
not
brilliant.
get a kick out of it.
I did.
I wanted to
laughed.
start throwing things at this.
That's really interesting, though.
I laughed.
So,
Every
but the
time
funny
he showed
thing
up,
is,
it was so funny.
Idris Elba and the girl, the Mission Impossible girl,
She's beautiful.
they were acting very sincere. I was like, compared to Jason Statham, who looked like he didn't want to be there, and The Rock, who really wanted to be there.
He really did.
They did it was like they did their job so good. Like this was a serious movie. They delivered those lines, which are absolutely ridiculous, with such sincerity. Even kissing The Rock, which was the most uncomfortable thing I've seen, she
Was
did
pretty
sincerely.
awkward,
Like,
yeah.
what are you doing, girl? Run away! Stop it! I don't know. They did their
Yeah.
job good, which was like I felt sorry for them instead of being like, good job, guys. I mean, they got their money, you know. They probably got a new house.
Okay, so anyway, what happens in the movie? Pretty much, they just chase each other around. You know, augmented Cyberman shows
She
up
has-
a
she
few
has
times. She has
virus
the
in
virus,
it.
and there's a ticking time bomb for the virus, which is fantastic.
It gets
Mwah.
extended about 4 days. I don't know. They will
course it
keep
does.
saying it's one more day, but there's like night and day, night and
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
night and day, but there's
And
still
so
one more day.
that's pretty much the entire story. It's
There's a
just-
and then
professor,
when you think
dude.
it's over, they go, we still have time.
You know what's the worst, dude? Like there's a point in the movie where they go get the machine that will extract the virus from her, so it's a happy ending, and they infiltrate this weird old abandoned building. And as they were going there, I was like, oh, it's the final act. They're gonna-
That's what I thought
yes,
too,
me
Jacob.
too.
Didn't you?
And I was so
Yes.
happy. I was like, oh, it's over. Thank God. They're going to go get the thing. It's going to be epic fight. They kill the bad guy. They extract it from her, or
That's
something
exactly
still
what I
happens.
thought.
And it ends. It's about 20 minutes of this movie. Thank God it's over. I will deal with this. And then they get out, and the machine is broken. And then I'm like, no, there's more. There's more of this.
There is more. There's so much more, and I think Jacob just was like, "How long is this film?"
Yeah, it
And
felt
it's very
long at that
true. There was
point.
something very strange about that
But
last
listen,
act.
I think the last act was possibly the best act of the film.
Really,
You know, what is
I
that?
was
The
just
expression,
waiting.
jump the shark? I mean,
But that's
Yeah,
the thing. I
this-
wanted them
this is-
to get even wackier and crazier and crazier.
but they got so cheap wacky. It's like, oh,
Cheap
we'll hire a
wacky.
bunch of, Hawaiian men.
Samoans.
Samoans. We'll hire
So-
a bunch of Samoans.
I was very okay. Yes, of course. And then the whole Samoan family. See, there's the family theme, Tim. There it is. We're
It is, but it's so superficial. It's like, we don't know who his family is. He just goes back and he's like, brother.
at the end of the film. Yeah.
What's the
introduce
word for
everybody.
brother they use? It was like Saum Sensei or something. I love you too.
Oh man, I wouldn't know.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's just like, so they're doing their old wacky adventure stuff. And dude, I have to before we get to
Uso.
the Uso, exactly. Before we get to the Samoan part,
How'd you know that, Phil?
I just checked.
he's good. He's good at Googling.
I'm googling.
What
That's
did you
I'm
guys
doing now?
I have to
Cyber
say,
hacker.
those are the most generic
Next step in
insults
evolution.
those two people gave each other. I mean, there was not
Which one was it? What are you talking
know,
about?
throughout the movie, Jason Statham and the Rock
Wrong.
insult
The
each other,
Wrong.
right? They're like, "Oh, your mama was blah blah blah." There was not a single original. Like,
Oh no, there wasn't. I was just.
it was all about your mama. This guy's big. This guy's small. It's about how they're gonna like hurt each other. It was about how their balls, which one's bigger, which one's small.
Yep. That's it. That's what.
Like there was like I was expecting. Come on, one clever one. Give me one clever one that I chuckle. It's just it was like 4th grade playground.
Well, that's the target
insults.
audience.
Like there was not one, just one. They do this entire movie. They hate each other apparently for some reason. I can't work with him. Oh, he's a dickhead. I don't. He's a dickhead. I don't know. It's just a little
I
bit
know.
of effort. Something. I don't know. This was bizarre, man.
Okay, well, anyway, there were fight scenes. There was chasing. They went to the factory. Time bomb is happening. They go to, they get captured. That's another trope, of course. They get captured by the bad guy. They get shocked, electrocuted. By the way, not much damage done to the main actors. And I remember I sent you guys
Oh yes, the article.
article that I don't have with me right
about
now.
this, Phil, because I have some questions.
I'm trying to find the article.
But I think the gist was that both Jason and The Rock had specific contracts with the movie that said how much percentage they can get hurt because they didn't want to look like wusses in the movie.
But how does that make
Which
sense,
is
though?
the
Because
silliest thing.
they get beaten up a lot in this movie, and they also get punched a lot. So
Yeah, but
nothing is bad happened to them. They just take it.
mm,
Did you see him jump off a building and then nothing happens to him?
yeah. Go to a good movie like Die Hard and see
okay, I see what
how
you're saying.
John
His
McClane
bloody feetsies.
barely is living at the end of the film.
But even if you think of Hobbs in the Fast and Furious, yes, he was an unstoppable force and this huge mountain, but he felt like such a cool character. I remember just like this super strict, for some reason, a really large cop, and he was just knocking people out. You could actually feel the strength of that guy.
Oh, here we go. I got it. This is from Cinema Blend.
Yeah, go
Let's
ahead.
go.
And it says, Hobbs and Shaw stars Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham's contracts reportedly say they can't lose fight scenes. Apparently, there's a complication to the fight scenes that there's specific conditions of how much certain stars get beat up on screen.
Oh, like the percentage, like
Yeah,
when they're fighting
it's like a
someone, like
gauge.
30% is like losing, and then but
Yeah.
the 70% they have to be winning.
No.
Apparently, it's such a subject of importance that it's been revealed that when it came to Hobbs and Shaw, stars Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham's contracts, everything down to the amount of damage they could take on screen was negotiated into their overall deal. And naturally, they were never allowed to lose a fight on camera. This is apparently not the first time this sort of thing has happened. Or even in the Fast and the Furious franchises. Apparently Vin Diesel
Really?
is just like Johnson and Statham and doesn't want to be beaten too much in the public eye. Though,
That's hilarious.
though Diesel has apparently gone the extra mile by relying on his sister, fellow series producer Samantha Vincent, to help count the blows he's taken and to also make sure they're within his preferred damage ratio.
That's ridiculous.
This is hilarious. Going by the
Why
facts
would you-
themselves, what the Wall Street Journal has reported about these contract wranglings and matters adjacent to an actor's PR image can seem pretty damning on the surface, especially when there are other actors who will take a pummeling in the name of the cinema.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
so-
bizarre.
And
Stuff
that-
like that.
That's real, but that's like, I think that's like a weird identity, not crisis, but like you are not the character.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's insane.
What's wrong with them? You are Vin Diesel, the actor.
I mean,
you are not
literally,
the
if you're
character.
an actor and if you like a script and you're going to play a character, it's pretty much either black and white, either 1 or a 0. Either going to play the character or you won't. Right? Like there isn't really in between.
Well, I guess if you're sort of producing it and you get to say, but still,
I know, I
don't
understand.
know.
I'm just saying that, like you said, it's not an extension of you as a person. You are portraying a character. So being a good actor would mean that you portray that character in the best possible way for the film, for the script, right? You're serving the script.
And then there's Jackie Chan.
There's Jackie Chan who gets hurt because he does his own stunts. I didn't
Which is such a
rely
weird,
on
it's such a
shaky
weird
cam.
concept because I'm wondering when you share that article, I'm wondering, are there other factors that actors sign
Oh, who knows?
contracts about? Like what? Like
There's
they
all
should-
Like
kinds
they
of
have to
little
have
things.
like 50% close up.
right? Yeah, I'm wondering.
Don't
now,
show
like,
my
'cause
left side because it's ugly.
I never thought about that, or like I have to have
But I'm not
a
even-
butt shot.
Yeah, but sometimes there could be these contracts in movies that you think it's perfect and you don't even know about it. But in this movie, it's just there's
Well, in this
so
kind
much
of a movie,
room.
yeah.
It's so much room to do this because there's no structure. It doesn't really matter what happens in this movie. It's like, yeah, it's fine. We can. It's a movie you can rewrite in half a day.
It's true.
And it doesn't
it's
matter.
true, yeah.
You can just sit down and say, well, this part is not good. We'll just do it this way and then this and that. Before we go to Simone's and
The
the
Samoans.
island, I have one note. Is there were some really awkward references in this movie. Like super awkward. I don't remember all of them, but there are two. One for Statham and one for The Rock. That is just, they have no idea what to do. So there's a reference to Italian Job, which is an old movie that Jason Statham is in.
Really?
And it's just and it's in the remake. I like that. I don't like it. I watched it a long time ago, and they drive minis around to steal stuff, and they're going through his cars, and this is not like a famous of his movies. He was just in it, and he's a side character there. And he's walking through Jason Statham's Shaw character's house, and there's a bunch of cars, and there's a Mini Cooper at the end. And he goes, "Yeah, I need it for the Italian job for that. We needed to steal." And like, why are you doing this? You have characters. Stop it. And then,
I remember that. Yeah. I knew the movie. I knew the title.
You have no more jokes anymore. You're doing this.
Yeah.
Like,
you better believe
too
it.
much. It's too like, and then there's also what I'm saying. The character of Hobbs is a defined character in that universe. But here, all of that is stripped away, and he's back to the Rock. He's back to the Rock, right? There's even a scene when he's talking to his daughter on the phone, and he's like, "Just please don't, Daddy, do the eyebrow thing." He's like, "I don't do the eyebrow thing," and then he does the eyebrow thing.
It's for the kids.
I'm like,
it's for the kids.
So an important question.
I'm kidding.
Is
I totally
the
agree with
Italian
you.
Job a good movie or?
I never watched the original. I watched the remake. It's a decent movie.
It's a decent movie.
It's a decent movie. It's got
decent.
some cool action sequences
decent.
with the Mini Coopers.
Okay, let's get to the Samoan part.
The Samoans. Yes, family. Uso.
So what did you like about it? What
Brock
didn't you
is
Mm.
like about it? Go.
Brock is not a Southern dude now anymore. He's a Samoan.
He's Samoan for
Because-
sure. Well, because Dwayne Johnson himself is,
And he has a brother
part
who doesn't
Samoan.
speak to.
And I was wondering when I was watching this film, what is the implication? Why are we with the Samoans for so much? I mean, it's just a little bit odd that it's in a film like this because you don't think of Samoans immediately. And there was a moment. I don't know if I want to reveal it right now. We can do it a little bit later with The Rock. Okay,
Just
well,
reveal it, Philip.
Yeah,
So-
reveal whatever you want.
So they have
We
their
don't
Helm's
have
Deep
a million
moment where
minutes.
they're in the fortress. They're waiting for the bad guys. It's very much like Skyfall. That's what I thought of. And
the MacGyvering of the booby traps.
the booby traps and the waiting for the enemy to come, and the enemy shows up. And the
If you haven't seen
matriarch
the
mother.
movie- Wait. If you haven't seen
Sorry.
the movie, so they're in a bit of a rut. The machine that was supposed to take the virus out of the girl is broken, so they need someone to fix it. And they're like, "Who can fix this?" And The Rock is like, "Well, I have a brother I haven't spoken to in 100 years, and he's a really good car mechanic, so he's definitely going to be able to fix this high-tech virus extracting machine."
Hell
But
yeah, he
it's going to
is.
be hard. So they go to the Samoan Island where it's a little hut that he knocks on, and his brother comes out, and they're like fighting and stuff. "Why did you leave?" It's like, "Why did you went to Bora Bora with all the stinking rat money?" You know, it's a
Wow,
classic
that's a-
scene from a PD Works movie.
Yep.
It's designed. This movie's written by a bunch of 12-year-olds, and then he's like, and then there's a bunch of Samoans just walk out of the house. I don't know. There's brothers, his cousins, his friends. I don't know.
Usos.
There's a lot of muscly tattooed dudes coming out of the house, and then an old lady, and she's like, "My son, The Rock, you be good to him, the other brother." And he's like, "I'll be good to him." And then he's like, "Brother, I need you to fix this high-tech thing." Also, there's like thousands of mercenaries with guns, like super high-tech guns, and Idris Elba, who's a robot, coming to kill us all. But I need your help. And he's like, "Yes, Eso." What was it? What was the
Uso.
word? Uso. Yes, Uso. We'll help you. So yeah, I just wanted to bring in the context.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That was actually really well done. And they don't have weapons because the matriarch, Mama, another wonderful stereotype there. I mean, for like a gang, not a gang, but like, you know what I mean? Like a
Yeah, whatever.
crime organization or whatever, car mechanic
to
or
whatever.
Yeah. And they don't have weapons, so they have to use their like prehistoric ancestors' weapons, which are, you know, meant for just, you know, chasing pigs and fighting each other in medieval times. And they have to be traditional now for some reason because that's just that's how it is. So
That's how it goes.
when the fight happens, they have all the booby traps, okay, bombs, okay, and then the squadron, the group of these Samoan warriors come in, right? They have traditional garb, and they come in and they do something that is similar to the Mori Haka.
I mean, they're all like Polynesian sort of tribes, so it's
I was telling Jacob in the cinema, Jacob, I don't know if you remember this, but I said they're not going to do the haka, are they? Are they going to do something like that? They do, and then The Rock, and then Dwayne Johnson comes up. It's like this heroic slow-mo shot with music. And he's there with the tattoos and the weapon of his ancestors.
And he's got like a little scarf around his. He's bare-chested.
Yeah, bare-chested. And he comes out of the smoke and he makes a riveting speech. And I couldn't help but laugh. It was...
I was just like, I was just watching.
So great.
Why are they going to fight and super futuristic army?
What is it doing in this film?
A bunch of sticks.
It was hilarious.
I thought that was funny too, the sticks. But listen,
anyway, there's something that made me wonder why we have this. Why is this here? I don't understand. It's not very connected to the whole story. I mean, and then I realized that I assume that this is very much like Vin Diesel with his, he wants everything to be
Corona,
barbecue and family. And this is the same thing with Dwayne Johnson because he's
this is Rock's interpretation.
Samoan. Yeah,
I am Samoan, so I should get
half
a bunch
Samoan.
of Samoans, half Samoan, and we should get a bunch of sticks and fight an army with it. I think the Fast and Furious people will connect to this.
I think that's good. Yeah,
I think that's good.
And I admire the.
That's a good movie.
The genuine want to do something like this. But it just made me laugh.
Listen. I think,
Jake, what did you want to say?
Yeah, what's more important, I think, than what you said is that The Rock has this special shirtless sort of half kilt outfit. But
it's true.
When the chopper comes in and they have to go and do the chase, he nicely changes in the blink of an eye to his shirt and jeans.
This is like a music video. This movie, it's like directed by McG or
and
something.
My favorite is how
Durst.
shameless it is that they show him like changing, like they actually shot him.
Yeah, you have to see
like he throws away the scarf. And then he has a T-shirt tucked in his back pocket, and he just pulls it out and puts like, "Ooh, this is dangerous now. I'm gonna put a T-shirt."
And he's just like, boom.
Well, this movie is directed by David Leitch, who is a former stuntman, and he is also.
Why are the stunts so shit then?
Well,
come on.
There's a difference between directing stunts and choreographing. Whatever.
Choreographing.
There's like amazing fights in Fast and Furious 5 with The Rock and Vin Diesel. It's just, you can feel the punches and just the size of The Rock. And he was just back to his like cuddly bear.
And, he was he also co-directed John Wick, which is interesting.
That's interesting.
And
That's
Deadpool 2.
Choreography. And what?
Deadpool 2.
Oh, he directed Deadpool 2?
Yeah.
Like the whole thing?
Like the whole thing.
Huh. I'm confused by this. I'm really confused by this movie. This was I don't know, man. I am confused. There's a scene where the Idris Elba is electrocuting them. And they're like, oh, there's no one survived 3. And like, I can take 5. I don't even know how that scene ends, man. I don't know. Can someone who's sane talk to me about this from the audience? I don't know. Understand. I think.
Well, so would you recommend this film, Tim?
No, watch the crocodile movie, which I didn't even see.
Oh, wait, you don't know about the speech at the end of.
Okay, the speech is amazing.
This movie ends abruptly, isn't it?
Oh, this movie ends like super abrupt. But Phil, explain the speech.
What's the speech?
Well, when Idris Elba is defeated in the rain,
yes, we
have to have this Lord of the Rings montage.
Wait. By the way, the Samoans, they fight in in the morning, right? The sun is coming up. About 2 seconds into the fight, the sun looks like it's noon.
It's like the reverse of X-Men 3.
And then they go on the chase with cars, and then storms come out of nowhere. Storm comes out of nowhere, and it's dark again. And this all happens within like 15 minutes. And now there's rain, and there's all sorts of madness. And Idris Elba is doing his evolutionary spiel.
That's right. He's like, I'm the next stage in evolution. Right?
Okay, Phil, explain.
Yeah, what did you want to say? Give me the speech. Yeah.
I'm trying to find the speech. Hold on. Oh, well, whatever. I kind of remember it. Wait. It might be here. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. So it's the end of the film. Idris Elba is defeated, but he has to listen to Hobbs learning what he learned in this whole film.
Oh, God, I remember now.
And he goes like, you may believe in machines. We believe in people. And then there's like this montage of the Samoans being happy and warriors. And he goes, you may believe in technology, but we have heart. It's beautiful.
I think it was pretty funny. I mean, I was laughing. I liked it.
I don't know. I could not. And then the movie ends, by the way.
Yeah, and then it's just, haha. Doom, doom, doom.
Yeah.
And then did you stay for the post-credit scene?
Oh, that was the worst thing in the world.
With the Game of Thrones thing? What the hell was that? What was that?
What was the Game of
That's what I'm
Thrones
saying.
thing?
It's just like, oh, kids like this. Let's talk about. I don't know why. I cannot see this as anything genuine. The cynic in me just sees the worst in this movie. I apologize. I apologize.
It's okay.
It's all right. It's all right. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest.
No. Just watch the
That's
Fast
the
and
funny
Furious
thing.
stuff.
Okay, this is my opportunity to ask which Fast and Furious ones should I see, or should I just go from 5+? Or should
Go
I do,
5+.
Should I do 2, 3,
Yeah.
then
5+.
5+?
I honestly don't remember 3 and 4, what happened. Maybe go 1, 2, skip 3 and 4, and go to 5.
Okay, then 5, 6, 7.
But if you've seen 1, Jacob, then just go to 5.
Okay.
Because that's like the new tradition. That feels like a complete storyline from 5.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, that was Hobbs and Shaw. Wonderful film for a wonderful generation. Tim agrees wholeheartedly. And he gives his recommendations to see the film. Anyway, we've got a song for our...
Play it!
Yeah, all right, we'll play it. Welcome back. This song was fantastic. It was a song called Satiin, and I really thought it was really good. It was by a band called Then Came Hupapaan. Really good stuff. You want to go
heard
to get
of them.
Yeah,
That's good. Yeah,
I haven't heard
pretty
of
unknown
but
band.
which is good. Which is why it's good to show them off. This isn't because I didn't have any replies from the people I asked to have songs. Not at all. In fact, Then King Hupapaan came to my rescue. And
Thank
gave us
God
a really,
for that.
Yeah, I
honestly,
know.
it gave a really good song. Very it's got energy. It's really funky. I really liked it. I really liked this song.
It's
And
good.
I think
It's
if you
good.
went to Bandcamp and you bought the album, that would be fantastic.
Funkergy.
as well.
Funk.
I bought the album. I think.
good.
Or, I don't know. I
You
remember.
did. One
I
of
think
the
you're
few.
probably the. I think you're probably the
I see the sole buyer. very, very underground band.
But that's why we have this podcast
Yeah.
to tell you guys to go and check it out. Then came Hupapaan. That's two A's at the end of the P.
It's true.
At the
I
end of
don't
the
know. I
second
don't know
P.
who thought of that stupid ass name, but yeah. It really
I don't know
did.
either. I don't know any of what you guys are talking about. So
It's true. Well, I've heard the song. It's decent.
yeah, it's
So, guys, while we were
Passable.
listening, while I was listening to this marvelous song, I'm not kidding. I really liked it. This sounds like I'm being sarcastic now, and I'm not. I honestly, genuinely thought it was good.
That's okay.
That's-
You can have your opinion. We're not judging.
I
we
discovered
all like the songs we like.
that there was a Scorpion King movie made last year.
What? With the
The
Rock?
Scorpion King, Book of... No, man. The Rock was not in the film since the first Scorpion King movie.
They're gonna make one with him.
Tim, don't you know about the many sequels?
Before we get into Scorpion Kings and Queens, what are our drinks for the second half?
Oh yeah.
These are the
Keep going.
questions that interest me.
Philip, you teased us with the tea, but what has happened to the tea now?
It turned into Bushmills Irish whiskey. That's what happened.
Ooh, that's good. That's a good combination.
It's an interesting thing.
Where did you get this Bushmills?
Yeah, where'd you get
What
that?
was the story? What's the story behind this generic?
Story. Well,
Irish?
generic.
No, it's not. But it's Irish.
Yeah, it is. A smooth and mellow. Finest blended Irish whiskey. Drink responsibly. I got this beautiful bottle of Bushmills from a man called Tim and Emma.
It's true.
Who is a woman.
It's a woman.
And they're married. And they actually sent
She
this...
gave birth to my daughter.
I love that
That's right.
clarification. The woman, Emma, a woman.
And they gave me this wonderful bottle for my birthday
It's true.
when I turned 30.
Just the bottle?
with the whiskey, but
With the whiskey.
Just the
Okay.
bottle. There was a T-shirt, a magical T-shirt.
I'm wearing it actually.
Oh, really? The
Yeah.
birthday bowl, Phil.
I'm the birthday boy. I got that for my birthday too.
So you're wearing the T-shirt and drinking.
So
the
we have a
Bushmills.
lot of, we have a lot of wonderful family members who are very creative, and they actually made me a wonderful T-shirt for my 30th birthday. It's like a nice collage of a bunch of drawings of me. And
true.
I,
It's true.
I can't help but
Magical.
say that Tim's.
But the catch is that every family member drew your face.
Yeah, they did. They drew my face.
In their own style.
Yeah, and then there's this one waste of space, which is Jacob's
Yeah, it's a complete, utter waste of space.
his iPhone drawing, where he used with his finger.
So bad.
That was it's pretty magical.
I used a laptop, but it was
Oh, okay,
sad.
gotcha.
Sad.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm back with Polar Monkeys.
Oh, you got a sequel?
Got a sequel. And
Yeah.
It's so funny because I think this might be like a little bit like cheaper beer, I guess. I don't know. Because it tastes so similar to the last one.
That's the worst. That's the
Yeah.
worst when you buy like two different
Yeah.
flavors.
And this is like India Pale Ale. And it's like it really feels like from the same batch, just that they added 3 droplets
It's made
of
by
the
monkeys.
India Pales.
3 droplets of some other brand they stole.
Something else.
The flavoring of IPA you can buy at a store.
The worst is like like India Pale Ale, right? Like it's very easy to water the name down. Like
Yeah.
everyone's just like throwing around IPA. Everything's IPA, and it's like when you tainted the name of India Pale Ale, then it dishonors the true India Pale Ales out there that taste really good.
Dude, there's like craft beer has become so mainstream for the last like 5 years. Even here, like all the big brands are trying to do
their whatever.
I tried, and it's like that's like a couple of years ago, everything was an ale, right? They just had the word ale. That was it. We're doing an ale. Then they figure out the buzzword IPA. Now everything's an IPA. And it doesn't even have the hops or anything from an IPA.
Nothing.
It doesn't taste like an IPA. It just tastes like a lager that's not been filtered. And it's
and the newest trend is like hoppy. Everything is hoppy. So listen to this. There's this brewing company here in Croatia. They're called Ožujsko, and it's, it's the classic lager.
Yeah,
company like Heineken or whatever.
Oh man, did it do a little special beer?
The special beer, and it's like great like design. It's like all cool. It's like hoppy lager. And it's funny. I just got it because it's like cheap in the store, and I wanted to get some beer. Man, it's amazing. Like that beer. The I don't know. I'm wondering if our U.S. listeners or outside of Europe listeners will know about the Radler, beers.
Oh yeah, but you know what a Radler was originally?
No,
it's like in Vienna, and basically you take Sprite and you pour it into your beer.
Ah, okay, that would make sense.
Or like a different juice, you pour it into beer. You mix it up. Basically, it's like a summer drink. That's a Radler. It's from like Austria.
It's beer plus okay, that's right. Like beer plus a juice, right?
And that's like been like a hit for the last like 5. There's like non-alcoholic Radlers right now.
But I would say the Radlers were like they've been around for decades, right? Like Radlers.
Yeah, but now they've been marketed for the last like 5 years, especially in Slovakia where I am. Like they're like people buy this a lot, like alcoholic ones, like multiple flavors.
I didn't know that.
It's like a flavored beer. It's not like a special brewing thing, but it's just a flavored beer.
Exactly, yeah. That's like a Radler. And let's say here they have like a lemon one or like a grapefruit one, and
yes, classic ones. Like
I never really liked them that much because, like you said, it's literally like beer, but then you just add something to it.
And the cheaper ones are just like so artificially like it's like
so it's pretty crappy. Some of them. Anyway, why I'm telling you this is because that hoppy lager reminded me exactly of that Radler. It's like it wasn't even close to anything of those like true
like proper craft beer.
This is like, literally like they just added some flavoring. Phil, didn't it taste like lemony?
Yeah.
It was like limey, lemony, and it was not a natural like nice. It wasn't a side effect of the process.
Did not like the lemons.
It was like a soapy lemony.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. I just want to say that I think we're like like a basic white chick. I think like we're the male version of that. We're drinking craft beer.
Yeah.
Where we have a podcast, right? Which is like the white male thing. Every white male has it's a podcast about movies while we're drinking craft beer.
I know. It's
fantastic. All we need
we are basic. We are beyond very basic, but it's okay.
All we need is a sponsorship,
by like Audible.
Audible or Harry's Razors.
Harry's
but I was
Berries.
thinking, like if we were to drink something else, like what would we drink that would be
water? Water's great.
Hard liquor.
I love it.
Just
hard liquor, like different,
like benzene.
Kinds.
We should just drink like petrol. No, we should just huff glue.
But the funny thing is, if you think about, I know what we could do.
Sniffing glue.
We could do Huel.
Oh, what's that?
It's the stuff Phil drinks. It's like a like Soylent was before Huel. It's
it's without soy.
It's just vegetables, right, Phil? Vegetables and
nuts and.
But if we really want to be different, we should do like we're 3 guys, but we're reviewing period piece TV shows. Like the Innocent Age of America, the Skut shows when they're like, "Oh, Johnny, I loved you, but then you saw my ankle and you turned into a pervert." That kind of stuff.
Oh, Johnny.
And then we're also we're tasting cakes. Like each of us buy a cake.
That sounds
and
good, actually.
This cake has top frosting.
I'll have you know that I have not had a beer these entire 3
That's true. You are not white. You had water and whiskey.
I'm half Samoan. Yes.
That's good. You're good.
So I'm drinking.
That's a cool idea, though. Yeah, go ahead.
What cakes?
Yeah, like
we're gonna be so fat.
We can just watch the show.
We're gonna turn into Samoans.
Man.
Oh yeah,
Go
we
ahead,
could.
anyway.
which is like candy bars. No, so my generic, popular mainstream beer that was the most mainstreamist and the most known beer of Ireland. Now I'm drinking the most known beer of Czech Republic, the one that was stolen by Americans and turned into piss.
It is called Budweiser.
Budweiser.
It's Budweiser, yes, but it's Budvar. That's the city where it's coming from. Yeah. Yeah, Budweiser, Budweiser.
I'll have a Bud Light.
I still like that.
That's all I
Pilsner
need.
Urquell.
Pilsner is sometimes too pilsnery for my taste. Sometimes I want a little bit
Okay,
less.
guys.
Yes. We have a movie to talk
That's
about.
Tell me about your news,
Phil's
Tim. You
the
had
host.
something.
Oh, yeah, news. I read an article today. You guys remember there was this company called...
No.
Chevron.
Oop, my mic's falling.
That's a
Moviepass?
company? Poops my mic. Yes, I remember
Moviepass, yes,
yeah.
Moviepass.
And it was a company that long time ago did you get like a $50 monthly subscription and you get to see all movies for free. And they were struggling to get users. They had like 20,000 of them or something like that. Not doing well. New CEO comes in and says $10. And everyone freaks out because $10, man, it's a bargain.
That's a bargain, for
And
sure.
everyone
Did
is
you explain
like-
the concept was that you can go to see as many movies in the theater.
Yes. And you for a fixed price. Any theaters, right? And it was $50. And then new CEO wanted to get lots of users real quick. So they changed the price to 10. Now, everyone was talking when this change came, I remember on podcast, everyone was talking about how are they gonna economically justify this? Because even if it's just not some kind of crazy person, they're gonna go see at least 4 movies, which is about $40, right? And they're paying $10. How are you gonna get that money back? They were thinking, or maybe they'll use the money as statistics to sell them to movies, theaters, because they know how much people see which movie. Or they're gonna do, I don't know, whatever. Everyone was, had their theory. But I was reading an article about this today, and obviously there was no strategic. They just wanted to get lots of users real quick. And the struggles they were obviously, I think that company is bankrupt now. It's gone. But the struggles, first they struggled so hard because they had so many users. They didn't know how to make those little plastic cards for membership. So they were really late with those, and people were freaking out. Like, where's my card? I've been waiting for 2 months, and I can't go see the movies that I've been paying for. But at one point, they were so desperate that they had so many people having this membership and seeing really a lot of movies, so they wouldn't lose so much money. They started doing these really weird ways how to stop the people to see the movies. And me and Jake were UX designers, so we're quite familiar with dark patterns. And it's something I don't know, Phil, if you know what that is. It's basically
To divert your attention to do something else.
Yes, to do something.
The point.
You're basically misleading people with their knowledge of how user interfaces works. You kind of guide them in the wrong direction, or you obstruct their way to get to something.
Yeah, and usually the goal is to make them to sell them something, usually.
Okay, I'll give you 2 examples. To sell them something like, the worst one was on Instagram, there was an ad that had a sneaker on it, and then they put like a really 1 pixel kind of thin line that looked like a hair, so people would swipe up to remove the hair from their phone, but then they took them to the commercial.
That's a good example.
Or let's say a lot of times, like you have dark patterns, like say, you want to cancel your Amazon subscription or your Amazon account, and it takes you through like 50 different screens, so the people just give up and they never cancel.
Yeah, or another classic one is, let's say, if you're booking a cheap airline ticket, you have to go through 6 pages of hotel booking and car booking recommendations, and the button to go next is so small at the bottom.
Or you go to booking.com, there's like 50. Oh, it's the last 3 rooms, or this is a 50% off, or all this craziness that just guides you to picking whatever you want.
One of the most classic dark patterns is the unsubscribe button for email subscriptions.
Yeah.
That's a pretty classic example. You can't find it. It's not even underlined. It's not even, doesn't even look like a link, and it's somewhere at the bottom in the footer, and just 8
So they did the most bizarre and the craziest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
What is it?
So when Infinity War was coming out, they were really worried of people going to see it 10 times in a row. So they looked at the people who had who used the card the most for the viewings, and then they changed their password.
Endgame or Infinity War?
Infinity War. They changed their password so they couldn't buy the tickets.
What? So they like reset the passwords.
Yeah. So you have to go like,
members.
I don't know what my password is, and reset it and do the whole thing again. They just went into the database, looked for the users who see the movies most, and just deleted the password.
But what is this? Why?
Just because like, oh, it's going to cost us too much money.
But this is your format. This is what you're doing.
I love the trust they're
insane.
building with their customers.
But
Yeah.
I love how insane that is. Like, you have dark patterns which is like to extend where you can kind of, it's really bad, but it's still within the reaches of something. This is just like,
Yeah, the premise of dark patterns is like you're making it so difficult for a user to like exit what you're trying to do or misdirect them. But usually at the end of the day, the user still can somehow escape. Like you're not
there is a
giving them
way.
the
You just
option.
really,
there is a
really
way.
hard.
It's just really difficult. It's like just difficult enough. But yeah, this is next level.
It's because you're a user. You're like, I forgot my password or whatever. I have to go reset and everything. That's just insane.
So,
Yeah.
but the
That
thing
is
is, though,
insane.
wouldn't,
That is so stupid.
Really adamant viewers want to go and just put a new password in and they're in?
Yeah. But it's still crazy.
They're trying to like block people from trying.
Yeah. Of using their service because they're just losing money.
So they're gone, right? Moviepass.
Yeah, that's gone. But I think the new CEO started a new company which is similar, something like that, like Movie Go or something. I don't know. Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows?
That's crazy. So
All right.
this is a new article or what?
Yeah, I read that today in the morning.
That's interesting.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's movie related,
Lost
so I
their
really wanted to
password.
bring it out because I was like shocked.
Just forget, like, just changing their passwords. Craziness. Anyway, here we are once again. Hi. How's it going?
Again. We're back.
We're back, and we have another film to talk about. This is the second film in this Twofold episode, and it is a film that I chose because I have seen it before, and I wanted my two cohorts to experience it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was very similar. It was slightly similar to
Dude, I was doubtful.
Hobbs.
I was thinking you're really, stretching it thin. But actually, when I watched the movie, yeah, it is the same premise. Very similar premise.
Yay!
It's
pretty good.
Yeah, it's an action movie, and there's one dude, and he has to cooperate with another dude who doesn't work, and maybe there's police involved. I was like,
Yeah.
So can
Good
I
one,
share?
Phil. Good one,
And
Phil.
it's action. Good old action.
True.
And this movie is called Hard Boiled, and it came out in 1992, and it's directed by John Woo, who many know as a prolific action director who's been doing movies in Hong Kong for a long time, and then he made some films in the US, which were like Face Off and Mission Impossible 2.
I hate to admit, once I was done with the movie, which was about 15 minutes ago, I went to look at IMDb. I was like, I know of John Woo. I know the influences. They go hard on Matrix and such other movies. I went like, which other movies did I see of John Woo?
Oh,
The only
which ones
movie
were
that
they?
I've seen was Face Off.
I still haven't seen Face Off.
Dude, you know what? Screw Hobbs and Shaw. Watch Face Off. That's some cliche, tropey, horseshit bullshit, and you will love it because it's magical.
Bullshit.
It's magical because of Nick Cage and John Travolta.
Yeah, that sounds great. Who could like both overact?
Oh, we should watch that together. It's
When did Face Off come out?
1997. Yeah, I watched it after it came out. I remember like 1999 or something.
I remember.
Like that. I do remember watching that movie. I was a little bit
Nice.
freaked out about the face swap stuff. I was a kid. I was not ready for that
I can't wait
stuff.
to see that.
I think
it's
I
not like
probably
Meat
only
Gun, is it?
recognize it if I had.
No, it's not Meat Gunny. It's
don't remind me
pretty
of Meat
straightforward.
Gun.
No.
Disgusting. Phil.
Meat Gun is the best.
For
Okay,
those who
it's
don't
called-
know, it's... Go ahead.
What is it called?
What's the Meat Gun film called?
What was it called? It's a Cronenberg movie.
Cronenberg
with Jude
film.
Law.
It came out during The Matrix, so it's weird how many movies are the same.
Yeah,
about
seriously,
virtual
what was that
reality.
movie called?
Meat
Spine
Gun
Pluggers.
It was something like that. Clockers. I don't know.
Ooh,
But did I ever tell you?
Virtual Zen, something like that. Some Zen,
Virtuosity?
Oh no, I think it was
No.
like something with a Z, like Z.
Did I ever tell you? You know the classic T-shirts that I had in the PD Work movies. One was
Existence.
Clockers. Oh, Existence.
Existence.
I
Yes.
hate that movie so much. I hate it.
That
Anyway, let's
movie
keep
has
going.
a meat gun.
I hate it.
It literally
I hate
has a
it.
meat handgun.
It is a meat gun. A meat
Go on.
gun.
Let's get
haunts
away
my
from
dream.
meat gun.
Wait.
It's-
Before
my
we
mind
go
is-
back to hard-boiled egg, you know, like back in the day when I used to make movies, I used to have these T-shirts. One had like, it was gray and it had virtuosity on it, something.
Yeah, that's a
And
movie.
then there was a white. Yeah, that's a movie. And then the other one was a white T-shirt with clockers.
Clockers.
That's another movie.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Where
I
do you get
never
these movie
noticed.
T-shirts from.
I have no
I didn't
idea.
know either.
I didn't know there were
until-
movie T-shirts, and I didn't know. And did we ever figure out the William Mercer T-shirt?
Oh, I think
That's a
brand.
banking company.
Oh, God.
I love this collection of T-shirts.
What are these collections of T-shirts you have?
I don't know where I got these T-shirts from, but I had these T-shirts that had really weird branding on it, and we used it for our movies. And some of the T-shirts we actually brought back just because I had them, and it was a funny thing. But that years later, I found out what they actually were.
Yeah,
Funny- the
you know how
funny
I
thing
found
is
out about
that-
Clockers? I knew you had that T-shirt. I had no idea what it was. Years later,
But the funny thing
there
is,
was like a poster of the film somewhere, and I was like,
I
Yeah.
didn't even know they make T-shirts based on films.
Dude,
like,
I don't know. Like, we had a bunch of clothes that, because it was when I grew up in Serbia back in the day, it was war times. So we got a lot of like humanitarian stuff sent from like US and Germany and UK. I think like, you know, like Hollywood or something, like they made the promotional T-shirts for the crew and nobody wanted it. So I guess they're just like, oh, we'll send
that
it to
could be
war
it.
times.
Crew could be good to war times.
And there's just a bunch of T-shirts, and I got a Clockers T-shirt. I don't know.
here you
man.
go. I found the William Mercer logo.
Oh, let me see it.
Because I can think of like, you know, like crew members for like bands touring and things like that. But it's just so strange to me that there would be a T-shirt.
But like I remember
film,
we
but
like
unless, like, it
Avengers,
is-
they had like T-shirts and hats, like the rap party shirt.
True. That is
That is
true.
William Mercer. There it is. That it is.
Did you find it?
Yeah,
William Mercer?
Phil, send it.
That's the one.
This is such a diverge. I apologize, listeners. This is too much inside.
Yeah, these are lore.
So listen,
History.
I thought that since you brought up Hardboiled,
This is
film,
deep lore.
Yeah.
I thought we could discuss our experiences watching the film and what was going on in our heads as the movie unfolded.
I want to know because I've seen this film
I would
before.
like to
so-
share mine, but I want to hear your guys' as
All right.
well.
Well,
Hey, go,
who wants to
Jacob.
go first?
You've been.
Well, no,
yeah.
no. Let me talk for a second.
Okay, you're the host. Go for it.
Hey, Uso. Let me talk.
We so love you.
Just give me a signal when I'm ready, when I can go.
I just wanted to say that
Let's take off our
I've seen
shirts
this film
and do
before,
that.
and this movie is called Hard Boiled, directed by John Woo. It's about undercover cops and undercover criminals, and it's a bit lighthearted, but not really. And it's got
This movie's
it's got-
not lighthearted, my man.
It's got a little bit of fun to it.
Okay, yeah.
Tim's sighs in disbelief and
Go on, Phil, go on.
disapproval. But
These mo-
anyway, I want to know what Jake thinks.
Yeah. Jake, what do you think?
Great. It's my time to shine.
He was running, he was going away, he was drifting away. Jacob,
Okay. Let us begin.
let us begin.
So, Hardboiled is a movie that a while ago I noticed that Phil watched many years ago, specifically I think 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and I wasn't interested for some reason in watching the movie, and I could tell it's some kind of a. I was wondering when I saw glimpses of his screen watching the film. Does this movie belong to the category of Hong Kong kung fu films? You know, when you listen to the Wachowski siblings and they used to talk about like we love to watch kung fu movies and things like that. So my first question is, does this belong to that kind of era or no?
There's no kung fu in it.
That's a really
This is
good point.
It is a Hong Kong movie. That it is a Hong
Because
Kong
it was made in
especially.
Hong Kong.
See,
And
I'm
also
I'm
just-
blurring.
Just the
I'm blurring.
culture, but I think John Woo is his own genre of action movie, I would say. Like he invented
a lot of things. The slow-mo.
Dude, I
So
was
I'm
looking at
overlapping some things.
I was looking at IMDb, and this is like his 15th or 20th action movie that I was seeing, right? Like
Yeah.
Hard Boiled was not. He started like in '77, so there's the whole '80s of his movies. This is like prime time. I think this is like the 2 movies after that he goes to America, right? It's like this is one of his last Hong Kong movies, right?
Yeah, no. This is his last one.
Like this is
before-
prime time. Like he has all the knowledge and everything. Like, and he is the inventor of the. Is he an inventor, or he got inspired by something else, of the jumping on the side and shooting your guns that every American movie has done?
And the dual-wielding guns.
The dual-wielding flying
handguns.
Dude.
Yeah. Max Payneing it up.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. Theoretically, yes, it's very useful, that move, because you're moving in an unpredictable manner. So when someone's shooting, like especially an automatic rifle, or like it's really hard to hit a target instead of somebody's like standing there, right? But I'm just thinking, because in this movie they do it a lot. Like,
yes, they do.
How much that has to hurt if that was done in real life? Like imagine all the time.
We're very lucky that in the movies things don't work out the way they do in real life.
That is true. That is good. Because
So-
it looks really cool. So Jacob, continue with your story.
Yeah.
I've hijacked you again.
You keep
okay.
hijacking things.
I apologize.
I need to put some like notes. Never mind.
On
You
paper.
tabs
stop
on
me.
ya.
You can just stop me. I
And
hijack
so
things.
yesterday, I put on the flick. It was later at night, and I hit play. Right, I hit play on the
That's
movie.
a good start.
I think that was a pretty productive start. Pressing play.
It's a
of
good
the
way to
movie.
start a movie. Hit play.
Yeah, I think that's generally probably the best way to
Not
play
just
a
stare
film.
at the DVD home screen and
Yeah,
be like, why is this movie not playing?
Not so useful.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Carl Pilkington. Anyway, digression. Where was I? Yeah, and so I play the film, and the movie starts rolling, as a film does. And while the movie started, I noticed a couple of things off the bat.
Yeah.
My first question was, what is the tone of this film going to be? Because when Phil told me about it, I wasn't sure if this is going to be some kind of a comedy or just a pure action film, or like maybe a cheesy action film, or is it a really quality action film? Or is it that, like I mentioned, is it some kind of a Hong Kong action film, whatever that may entail? So I was very confused about the tone. As I started watching the film, Paco in the background eating.
Paco's being really excited.
Paco the cat in the background, in case anyone can
That's
hear
Paco the cat. He's getting his dinner at midnight.
Midnight snack.
Midnight feast.
And so that was my big question at the beginning. And
Okay.
a couple of things I noticed was that I did have trouble at the beginning trying to get myself into understanding what the sort of setting and plot of the movie is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it took me some time for sure, but that's because I was thrown off by multiple things. Like, first of all, I, like a fool, thought like, oh, this movie's going to be in English. And then
gotta
as soon
subtitle it
as
up,
soon as
my
the
friend.
subtitles came up, I was like, okay, makes sense, of course. Like, Hong Kong film, of course it's not going to be English,
Yeah.
but that threw me
You're
off.
not going to watch it overdubbed.
And I think what also was going through my mind while watching the beginning was that, this is, okay, this would be called like a foreign film because it's not like a US based movie, right? That's like a title, right? I guess they use it for the Academy Awards, right? Foreign film. When you watch a movie that's from a different country and from a very different country, I tend to like wonder about like, oh man, this is going to be interesting because the sensibilities are going to be much different. It's sort of similar to, let's say, watching a Japanese film, like maybe a Hayao Miyazaki movie, and it's very different sensibilities and very different ideas of what a movie should entail and what are the maybe messages or themes or even like
even like culture shapes it, or like storytelling is a different structure.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're used to a certain storytelling style in the West that's been done many, many times over.
See Shaw and Hobbs. Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, exactly.
Evolution.
And
we must kill it.
and even though there's all kinds of films out there, like
people.
independent films and experimental films and things that aren't mainstream, still there are some sort of core sensibilities that are very natural to a viewer like us, where we can just read into it and it'll feel comfortable. Like, oh yeah, I know.
And you can figure it out. Yeah. And also the thing is that it is an old movie, but it is from 1992, which is 30 years ago. So there's also that level of that, like movies were different.
Exactly, and it's 1992 again in Hong Kong. It's a different.
It's also extra
extra
different. Yeah.
So it's like you're even more layers of sort of separation, and I don't mean that in a negative sense. I just mean that in a very different way of viewing a film, because you don't necessarily know how to read the movie or how the film will progress or in what way it'll present its elements of storytelling. So that was right off the bat what I found interesting about the film, and I found it. I wasn't quite sure, because the beginning of the movie had a bit of, I guess it had some sort of comedy element, not comedy elements, but sort of like what Phil was saying, some type of lightheartedness at the office scenes and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't that on the nose? I didn't figure it out. I definitely feel the culture difference in that. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Are they being cheeky? Are they being comedic? Is this just normal?
Exactly.
I also had a hard time figuring out the plot and the connections with people. I think by the end of the movie, it was clear. But I think up until halfway point, I had no idea who was who and how.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Do you want me to just give a little synopsis?
I wanted to say that to agree with Tim that it took me a good while to sort of it took me a good while for everything to click in my head. Like, okay, I understand pretty much sort of the plot of this movie, and I kind of understand what the vibe they're going for. But I think it was at least 30 minutes in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It took some adjusting and even just the movie itself, and also the culture difference added an extra layer of confusion and it's just it starts off in a jazz bar.
Well, Phil, why don't you give a recap of a synopsis?
Yeah, I'm the king of synopsises. I never not do a good job.
I'll just do the first scene. I'll start it up and then you continue, because I was just sitting there and trying to piece this movie, because again, no idea. Phil says watch Hardboiled. I know who John Woo is, and he's the guy who makes.
You know who Chow Yun-Fat is?
No, I do not. I didn't know, but then I looked at his IMDb and realized this guy been in every of his movies. I recognize his face. I recognize the other guy's face. He looks like a young boy. You'll have to tell me where I know him from. Yeah, the other dude. Where do I know that guy from?
Tony Leung. He was in certain films. I don't know. I know the name though.
I gotta check because that guy was so familiar. Anyway, so it starts off with a jazz bar. A man makes a tequila slam, and then he plays the jazz flute.
He's slamming that tequila all the time.
And then I didn't realize that they went to a different place where you have birds as you eat breakfast.
There is it seemed like it was night, to be honest, but I guess.
Dude, I don't know. There was a scene when they talk to a newspaper guy and they come in and then you realize they're undercover cops.
Yeah.
And then everybody shoots everyone.
Yeah, it was a blur for me, the moment where our main hero, he has a good friend who gets killed. And that's sort of...
his good friend who was 3 days till retirement.
Exactly. And that's a blur, that part of the film. I don't know why.
Absolute blur. I was still adjusting at that point. I'm like...
Me too.
Oh, they're in a bird house? What is happening? And they're like... Oh, I started a piece they had earpieces. They're probably cops. It's a setup. They're going to find out information. All of a sudden, everyone just starts shooting each other.
Yeah.
People dying left and right. There's innocent bystanders just dying.
They also die.
Everyone dies. There's slow motion. There's an amazing scene when he slides down the rail.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest.
Yeah, that was a bit of confusion.
He catches the guy. He catches the guy, but then he kills him. Even remember that?
Oh yeah, he's got him on the floor. He's like Ghost Man because he went through dust or flour
he went through
or something.
dough.
And isn't our main character
Doe. What am I
also
talking
like
about?
some kind of military background? He was a sergeant or something.
Yeah, he's like in the military.
And then
He's like
became
the
a
classic
cop.
bad boys things, like the sergeants or whatever, the leader of the police squad. He's like, you always do your thing way, and he's like, I do. There's no backstory. I have to say, like, I'm is he like a? Does he like he likes killing or what's happening? Why does he
No, I
kill
don't
so
think he
much?
likes killing. Who, our main hero?
Yeah, he kills a lot, like a lot.
He's loose
He kills
cannon.
a lot, but I don't
That's
think...
just what he do.
I
Like,
think
doesn't
he's
seem
actually
troubled
very-
by it. I don't think he's ever
Tequila Yen.
tequila.
What's
Maybe
his
the
name, by the
tequila
way?
helps.
That's the first thing.
Just tequila. That's it. That's the name.
That's his name, Tequila.
Oh, okay.
They just call him tequila.
No,
and the,
I think his
the
character is
guy's
very interesting because...
He never bats an eye. There's never a scene he's like, I killed too much. He's just like, no, I'll just do my killing.
He's a very matter of fact man.
Yeah, he's a very salt of the earth guy.
Yeah,
Totally.
killing needs to be
rough and
done. I'll
tumble.
do it. I'll use two guns
Yeah.
at the same time.
He's sort of like a don't think twice kind of guy.
It's
Which
part
is
of
an
the job.
interesting
Killing
character.
is good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say killing is good. It's just that he does. Yeah, like you said, doesn't really.
People
think
get
about
in the
it.
way. You know.
Like bad guys should be killed. Obviously, he's not
Exactly.
killing innocent people. Bad guy are killing
Bad guys.
innocent people. A
Bad
lot of
guys
innocent
dead.
people. So many innocent people die.
Yeah. So anyway, the
I wasn't
whole
used to it, man. I haven't watched
Really?
like you watch like an 80s or 90s action movie.
Yeah, everybody kills everybody.
Everybody kills it. There's like so many innocent people. Like if you watch any of the Arnold old movies, people just die left and right, and,
Yeah,
and
Paul
you just don't
Verhoeven.
think about it. Yeah, those movies. And now you don't see that a lot in movies these days.
It's very sterilized now.
And you're not used to it. I wasn't used. Like that scene came up, and I was shocked. I was really disturbed. And how many
disturbed?
innocent? There's like a mass of people walking down the stairs, and the guy comes with an Uzi and just kills everyone. That's a
Right. No,
massacre.
there's a lot of people.
That's
that die.
that's
It
a
is.
massacre.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And then the policeman comes like, "We could have got him, but you had to go and kill people." And it's like, is anyone concerned about the 100 innocent people who just died in this house, or we're just what?
It's not the genre. It's
Yeah,
the genre for that.
I'm not used to it, man. It's been a while since I've seen a movie like that. I was genuinely concerned.
What about you, Tim? I'm Jake. Wow. Stupid whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting watching this movie alone. It's I've realized something. I've realized my epiphany is that I think that watching these kinds of films that are more sort of action oriented pictures, when I watch them alone, they have a very sort of lonely vibe to them for me, as opposed to watching a movie that's very thematic or tries to tell a story that's very complex with a lot of dialogue and a lot of characters. Because a movie like this is not so focused on like any character study or you know what I'm saying. It's not so thematic. And when I watch it alone, it's sort of a lonely experience. And so I think that added what you're talking about, like the killing and stuff, a little bit added, to that sense of like, oh man, like it sucks to be these cops. Like you're just,
You're just sitting there analyzing.
Yeah, it's like
and
I'm
it
just
does have
thinking,
like really.
Yeah,
It has really long action scenes. Like they do take a long
They're
time.
super long.
That you have time to reflect on
Yeah.
what has happened.
and so I was just putting myself in the shoes of like, let's say our main character or this other character. I'm just thinking like, man, this is like such a the character mentions the Johnny, not Johnny, who's the guy? His
Adam,
undercover cop.
What's his name?
Yeah,
Alan.
something like that.
Albert.
Alan.
No, Alan.
It was Alan. Yes.
He says he has a quote
Dude,
at the end
it
of the
took
movie.
me years to figure that out. I had no idea.
The
There's like
names
so
are
many
confusing.
scenes that are
Johnny
supposed
and
to.
Alan.
The Johnny is the half breed, right? He's like half.
He's the big rival.
He's half white, isn't he?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I'm assuming he is. Yeah,
Dude, the whole like him, he killing his uncle, and then he brings him beef jerky, and then he goes to the other guy. Like for the first half hour, I had no idea what was
I
happening.
was confused. I think I
I
figured
know.
it out though. So Alan was from the get go an undercover cop, which took me a while to figure out. I
Dude,
thought he
it was
just
not clear.
betraying-
Like in the end, they
Yeah.
beat it into you. You figure it out in the end. If you're stupid, they will tell you about 5 times that he was an undercover guy. He was sending the roses. he's good friends with. there's I love in this movie. There's the classic voiceover from the previous lines. There's a lot of that, like somebody standing and you hear "Oh, it was your birthday," like the
Also, a
previous
lot
line.
of dubbing. If you notice, this movie, like
Yes.
80% of this is dubbed.
There's a scene when there's two characters talking. It's our main character talking to his friend. The friend doesn't open his mouth. When Foxy, the snitch, comes to talk to them, and it's our main character, and he's talking to his cop friend, and they're in the jazz bar restaurant, I think. And his friend is not opening his mouth, and there's noises coming out. And I was like,
the friend that you mean the bartender?
I don't know who it was. I don't know who it was.
That was John Woo. He's in the movie.
There's a point where our main character is talking to another dude before Foxy comes in, and the guy's not nobody's opening their mouth, and someone's talking. And I was looking, is this a voiceover? What's happening? And then our main character responds to him, but he opens his mouth. And I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. We didn't talk about the synopsis yet. Come on, people.
I was going to say that at the beginning
seen the movie.
of
Jacob needs
watching
to finish this thing.
At the beginning of watching this film, that I thought that maybe this was like an overdub of the original Chinese that was like in a different language. I was thinking like, oh my goodness, is that why the subtitles are there? Or because the dubbing was so off, I thought maybe got the wrong language version.
I forgot that this is Hong Kong, so it has a lot of English culture. They do the same thing as like in Bollywood,
they
where
use
they
lots
say
of English
Thank you.
phrases.
I wanted to ask you about this, guys, because I noticed there was a thing where they like to throw in thanks and see ya and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's an English colony, If you watch Bollywood movies, right?
A couple.
Yeah, every day. I can't wait to see the next Bollywood film.
Oh, you should see some. I have some good picks for you, but this happens all the time. Like every third sentence in English.
Interesting. So it's a real thing.
Yeah, it's like a colony thing, and I guess they use phrases for extra important moments. They'll say English.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not from there, so I don't know if we have any listeners from any part of India or Hong Kong that have a little bit more history yet. I'm welcome to learn.
Okay,
It's
so
still pretty cool.
synopsis.
All right, so the synopsis is pretty much there are these cops and they want to find out about these weapon smugglers, this gang of weapon smugglers. And then there's a rat or a mole, a mole put into the in the underground seedy bad guys. And he has to win the trust of Johnny.
Is that his real uncle? I'm confused by this.
I don't know. And well, he does that by betraying.
No.
he
He
betrays
kills
his
his
uncle.
uncle.
Oh, he
And
kills
and all his
uncle.
cousins.
Yeah,
So,
and all of his
listen,
cousins.
Phil,
This was the
In
confusing
rage.
part. So we see the point of view of this young kid who's like hustling and bustling, and he's talking to Johnny, and he's like,
Johnny.
He's
Hi,
like-
Johnny.
and he's like, we'll do new deals, and then he goes to his uncle, and uncle's like, if I'm too old and I can't handle this business, what will you do with me? He's like, don't worry, uncle, I'll send you to Hawaii or whatever. And he's talking to his
Yeah.
cousins, and he's great. And then the very next scene, he's with Johnny, and they're like, we're going to infiltrate your uncle's warehouse. They come in there, they shoot a bunch of people, and then
They do. There's a lot of shooting.
there's a lot of shooting, and Alan is smoking. What is his name? Alan?
Johnny?
Oh.
Alan. Yes, Alan.
He's
Alan.
smoking a cigarette. I'm confused because our main protagonist is like commandoing up the stairs for some reason.
Oh, he is like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, more cars come in, and I don't know who it is, and the cars start crashing, and then Uncle comes out, and this Alan's many cousins. And then Johnny's like, oh, we got you. We're going to take over your business. It's all down. And he's like, oh, Alan, talk to me one-on-one.
Well, no,
And
listen.
then he's like-
But then we have to make emphasize that Alan's uncle, Alan is revealed to his uncle that he betrayed him. And his uncle is-
Yes, in this moment is revealed, and he wants
Yes.
to talk to him. And then he's
and his
like,
uncle's like, "Oh, Alan, how?" He didn't even ask how. He was
no,
like,
he was like, I
"Oh."
understand.
he was like, it's
Yeah.
okay. It's life. This
it's
happens.
life, this happens,
Yeah.
but you have to be the one to shoot me, right?
"Yeah."
But there was a scene before where he's like, Uncle's like, okay, I understand you want to take over my business, kill me, do whatever you want with me, but my cousin, my boys, don't kill them.
Yeah,
They got
don't kill
nothing
him,
to do
yeah,
with it.
Exactly.
And then Johnny's like to Alan, is like, that's up to you, my man. So Johnny goes to have his one-on-one talk with his uncle, and then he's
His
like, "Come
Uso.
on." His Uso is like, "Kill me. You have to do it. I don't want these pigs, this other, gang
Yeah,
to do
these
it."
guys killing me.
So Alan shoots his uncle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he's like, "Okay, it is done."
It's dramatic. It's sad.
Dramatic, and then he's leaving. He's leaving, and he's going next to Johnny. Gives Johnny a smile, and then the smile turns into like pain, and then he takes an Uzi and
I did
kills
not
his
expect
cousins.
that. Yeah.
I'm still confused about this. What was the point of that?
Why
didn't
did he do
understand
that?
that
I think the
either.
only thing I could think of was that he spared his uncle before he died, making him believe that he only killed his uncle.
But why would he kill his cousins?
Well, the only reason I can think of is because to prove to Johnny.
Did he
I'm
like
so
hate him because he
loyal.
was a cop? He like wanted to kill everyone.
Maybe, or just
There's
to
a lot
prove
of
to
killing
Johnny,
in this movie.
But that's like a
Oh
huge
yes, there's
price.
like over 100 deaths in this movie.
Probably more than that.
Dude, Philip, I am a new father. You should have given me a warning. I can't handle babies around violence anymher. I'm past
Oh.
that. That was
No babies were harmed.
I know, but that was tough, man. I had skipped a few moments. I could not handle it, man.
That was
Babies
Oh, wow.
are so vulnerable and they depend on us. And seeing babies in situations like that is not easy anymore. I was like,
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
Well, that's
I
a
could
new
not handle
development.
it. Yeah, that was
Wow.
oof. But anyway,
they can handle it though. They're all right.
yeah, no, they could not. They are useless, and they really need our help. And we shouldn't be shooting each other around little babies.
It's okay. They
had
had
their-
little earbuffs on.
They didn't have earmuffs. They had a bunch of fluff put into their ears. Those babies are deaf, all of them at this point.
I know.
Anyway, what was the
So anyway,
where were
the
we?
betrayal. Well, the betrayal happened, and so now Johnny knows that Johnny, the evil bad guy, knows that his gun smuggling business is successful because now they have the uncle's warehouse of their new recruit, Alan, right? But Alan is sad because this is all planned. It turns out that he's an undercover cop working with the good old Hong Kong Police Department. With
true.
But that takes forever to figure
with
out.
the greatest boss.
I
Dude,
wanted to say-
forever.
well, I wanted to
Yeah,
say that when
yeah.
he talks,
And then the code. Do you remember how they coded the
With
the
the
letters on the
song.
roses? Yeah.
Do, re,
Fa,
mi,
fa, sol, la,
fa,
fi.
la.
So this was the confusing part. So he comes. So after the initial shootout at the bird restaurant, he comes back and the chief of the police is yelling at him like, "You can't be a crazy gun man. This is horrible." And he's like, and then it was like, "Oh, go talk to your lady. She's getting flowers from someone." And then he's like, I don't know what's happening. She calls him in to help her. At this point, I didn't even figure out that it was his friend or girlfriend or whatever. I had no
Here's
idea.
even something more confusing. He goes to the statue to pray, and he's like, "I'm having struggles in my relationship."
Yes.
And I was like, "Who? With who? Like,
With who exactly? Like,
with
who's-
what? The woman there?" I thought
He's
this,
like at
I
a
thought it was a
wife and
joke.
he wants this new lady. Like
Yeah,
he's like
I thought,
getting a
like,
divorce
okay.
and he's like,
Yeah.
but he likes the disco.
but apparently it's his girlfriend.
That's his girlfriend apparently. And they're like, "Oh, come help me look at
Decode the
my
message.
flowers, right?" And he's like, "Oh, like roses. There's a Soleil. Well, maybe I like roses." And he's like, "Well, you maybe should have known." I'm like, "What is happening?" And then she's
have no
like,
clue.
"Look at this. So what is this?" And it's like, it's a song. And he sings the song and they go like, "La fa re mi," like they're trying to decode the notes. And then she writes the notes in numbers on a note.
Yeah.
And then she has this whole spiel with the chief as well. And then he punches into a magical interface that I haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
into a
magical.
computer, so he types in the la fa do
Yeah.
or the numbers.
The numbers.
sorry. And then he gets it. It says decoding complete.
Yes.
And then he gets a message. And I never figured out for the life of me what those messages even mean and who are they from.
No, you don't find that until like the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh, I forgot. What was it?
It was
Well,
him. It was Ellen. It was
He was telling
messages
them
from
where-
Ellen because he was
Where
undercover.
yeah, because he's trying to find the gun
gotcha.
smuggling base.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
okay.
there's this cool guy with an eye patch. Remember him?
Oh,
Terrible.
yeah. He's got honor.
killer guy, the killer guy. And well, basically this movie is it's kind of like two halves. Like the first half is pretty much this confusing mystery film that not many people are very engaged in, but it has style.
There's a lot of like
and cool
smoke,
fight scenes.
smoke and
Yeah,
lights.
and lots of
really
Did you notice there was some Blade Runner things, like with the fog and with the origami thing and with the saxophone?
Yes. It was like the saxophone reminded me of Lethal Weapons. That's got like a really like troubled heroes shooting people soundtrack, like smooth jazz kind of stuff in the background, like bluesy stuff.
Yeah.
So
And there's definitely
Alan- And
like super like there's one scene when he's coming. I think he's coming into the police office building, and there's like a really bright light outside, and there's like foggy kind of vibe, and it's slow. Oh, the stucky slow motion. I'm not a big fan, I have to say. Like
I didn't like the sticky slow motion. Yeah, I think it's just they didn't have enough like.
It was just fake slow motion, right? You just slow it down, but you don't have enough frames, so it's just.
No, I don't like it. Like, yeah, in some points there's real slow motion in some parts, but there's like fake slow motion in most of the parts. I don't understand what that was. But the next half of the film, after all this mystery that's been going on, is the base of operations happens to be in the morgue, underground, in a hospital.
In the hospital, yes. That took a while to figure out as well. I was not.
And Johnny's evil base is with all the guns are in there. And there's a reason why this hospital is so white.
Why?
Because it's going to get destroyed at the end with all kinds of
It's true. But that hospital was nice. I was a little bit annoyed. Like, this is 1992 in Hong Kong, and that hospital is nicer than any hospital we have in this town.
Oh, no. I mean, it's definitely, it has to be a set. I don't think they filmed in a real hospital.
What I was trying to say was that, you know that scene where Alan talks to the chief of police?
The
lighter
He's getting a cigarette.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, I guess the chief of police is also like corrupt and is going.
That's what I thought too.
That's what I thought too. Because he was like, Tequila, drop it. Stop researching this.
Exactly.
This is out of your bounds. And then you see him with the guy. But maybe that was the case, like supposed to mislead you. But yeah,
maybe. But I'll give you a little bit of insight into the film. This movie underwent a lot of changes. When they were filming it, they were rewriting things.
Okay, so they're trying to figure it out. That's why it's probably confusing.
Also, it's because the original writer, unfortunately, he died between writing, and they had to. Yeah, he just went on vacation one day to. If it was Hawaii, I'm gonna be very surprised.
But,
and then he died, and then they didn't have anyone else, and they were going to film very soon, and they were actually, perhaps even filming some stuff, and they had to just make something else up. And it's interesting because when you see the first half, it's some kind of confusing mess that feels unfinished. But then the next half is just action and killing.
It's just oh man,
and over the top craziness in a hospital.
It's like it's like they had a set and they just made the movie there on that set. Like that second half. So I don't know.
I love all the wide angles too, and how it was filmed.
I was going to talk about the comparison with the first
Russell
action
Hobbs.
movie. Russell and Hobbs is that's just everything shot on like a super, long lens, right?
Yeah,
and everything because in action. The thing is that if you have a lens like that, if you have a wide angle lens, it's really hard to sell the fake punches because obviously people in movies don't punch each other. They punch in front of the people's face and you kind of angle the camera so it looks like they're punching them. So you choreograph the movement of the head so it looks like somebody got punched. Sure. And when you have a long lens, like a zoom, like a 85 millimeter, it's really easier to sell that because things look like they're a lot closer to each other because of the depth of, just depth of field, right? So doing action scenes with a wide angle lens is really hard, and this movie does it, and it's so much better because you have such.
Of course,
it
is. It feels so good to see.
Because you have you know what the places are. You have a better, navigation of what's happening. It's not a confusing mess of just cuts and there's also that Hong Kong school of editing for action. In American sort of editing, what you do is you always cut realistically. So let's say you have 2 shots of somebody getting punched.
Yeah.
What you do in a Hollywood movie is you would time it so the movement would be fluent, right? You start off in one and then you cut at exact same time where that one left off. But in Hong Kong, what you do in the second, when you cut 2, you would leave a little extra. So it's like a double tap, right? So if somebody gets punched, it's like you have extra movement. So it's got like an extra
So it's a little
punch.
more impacting, yeah.
Yes. And it felt so good. And the wide angle shots just like of the action were so amazing. There's that one, and you could clearly see the influence on Hollywood action movies, especially like from Matrix and stuff. Like there's that one shot when Eye Patch Man and Alan
and Tequila.
They meet each other to shoot each other, but they realize there were a bunch of hostages in between them, right?
Yeah.
So we from conversation we hear from Eye Patch Man, who's the henchman, the evil bad guy. He's like, "Can you just let these people go in the hospital? You know, they're innocent." And evil man Johnny's like, "No." So we know that he is not, pro this whole killing of innocent people.
Yeah.
So they stop their fighting and they put their guns down, and then undercover cop says, "Guys, go." And Eye Patch Man is, and there's this amazing tracking shot that happens from Eye Patch Man across the people, and the people in the middle, the hospital people who are patients and nurses, and there's like a dead girl there. They're arranged like a Renaissance painting, and then you have the tracking shot that goes from Eye Patch Man to undercover cop, and it was just like I was just watching, and it's a wide angle, and you can see the whole room, and I was like, that's so good. That was so good. Sorry, I got on a tangent here with the wide angle lens thing.
And then the baby's pee-pee saved the day.
It's true, but that was hard for me, man. There's so many just innocent people dying in a hospital,
but no babies.
No babies die.
I think the worst scene was the operating table.
Yeah, there's a guy being operated.
Yeah,
and they're like, "We have to leave," and they're like, "No, we have to finish," and then they turn off the lights.
I honestly thought about like if anything like that would happen in real life. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Oh, that sounds awful,
right?
It is.
It's just the scenario.
Like, people just there's evil mafia Hong Kong people just standing on the roof and just shooting patients coming out of the building. Like
it's ridiculous.
That's a massacre.
It is.
It's not like Collateral, right? Like they're shooting at a bad guy and he's in the way. They're just aiming at the people and shooting them.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, there are some cops pretending to be hospital people undercover.
It look, there's so much killing. Like it felt like a video game to me. Like honestly, there's so many. Like there's action sequences where our main heroes are going through halls and shooting the bad guys. There's just so many of them. I'm like, what is this? This felt like a video game. Like just how many kills you get.
Yeah.
Like
Sing baby to sleep and shoot the man.
Yeah, I mean, like John Wick has a lot of people to murder, but it like every murder is different. As it goes through it, like every person he kills gets like a special moment to be killed at, right? In this movie, they're just shooting people left and right.
I know.
It's like one, like it's just like
but the ending, but the ending where the cops are like giving each other the look, to get out of the way so they can take out Johnny.
A cool sequence was when our hero Tequila, when he tricks Johnny and he's like, I'm being captured in the hospital, and then it's like, haha, the person capturing him was Alan, and there was a little coordination with all the guys.
Oh, when he was dressed as a cop?
Yes.
Yeah.
So listen, I wanted to ask you guys, what was considering this is a predominantly action-based film, what was your personal favorite action sequence of the movie? Because I have mine.
Okay, you tell us yours. I'm going to try to think of mine.
Okay. I think my favorite action sequence was when Alan and Tequila go outside of his boat. And Alan's like, "Oh, Johnny's coming," and then Tequila's like, yeah, I'll see you later, man. Pajum. And goes right in the water. Like so nonchalantly. Jumps in the
That
water.
whole sequence was so confusing to me because our hero figures out that he's an undercover cop because they have a little shootout, and then neither of them. That was confusing as well. I thought for a moment, you know what? I was watching that. They both have their guns pointing at each other, and I thought it was the Matrix thing that the Wachowski got inspired that they both are out.
Well, that happens later on in the movie.
That's true, but they weren't both out. They just didn't want to shoot each other because they both had suspicions that they're cops.
Oh,
whatever.
I missed that.
He goes to Alan's boat, and they're like, oh, I hate you, but they're like, you're a cop, I'm a cop. What are we gonna do about it? And they're just chit chatting, and there's a bunch of three dudes, which I don't know which gang they were. What this is uncle's gang?
No clue.
Who were they, Phil? Who were the three bad men?
I don't know. They're just the three bad men.
Three bad men, and this guy with a shotgun, right? By the way,
Yeah.
shotguns are lethal in this movie up until that point.
Yeah.
A shotgun will explode a car. We have seen this. A shotgun
We have seen this.
There's a guy on a motorcycle. The guy just turns him, shoot him with a shotgun. Huge explosion, right? So this guy comes on the boat. There's a little window, and Alan is sitting there. The guy just shoots him point blank with a shotgun
in the back, and when
In
that
the back.
happened,
I thought he was gonna die.
Yeah, I thought. Oh, interesting.
Nothing.
Plot,
He just runs
interesting
around.
Plot twist.
Todd Blist. Dude, you know what happens to Alan?
Twat
Nothing.
Blist, I thought
Nothing
was
happens to Alan.
that he dies. I thought like
Yes.
you know, there's one of those movies where like you start to learn about a character and know them, and then they're gone. But
Yeah.
no,
Exactly.
he goes to the
Nothing happens to
hospital
him.
and gets patched up.
And then the movie
he's all good.
continues. He's all
And the
good.
movie
yeah.
continues. But
that
what
was
did you
my
think of the
favorite
ending,
action
though?
sequence.
When the Die Hard
The abrupt
ending.
ending.
Yeah.
Wait, remind me.
Another abrupt.
Salt of the Earth ways.
Wait a second. Isn't the abrupt ending they go to like a bar or something? No.
Do they?
No.
Nothing
This is what happens
happens.
at the end. Alan is presumed dead. He's, remember? Very sad. After they
that's
shoot
right.
Johnny in the eye in a brutal way.
Yeah.
Shoot Johnny in the eye, and then
Oh,
it's
but
like,
we didn't talk
that's-
about the safe. How beautiful the safe looked. That was actually a really nice set compared to all the other ones.
Oh, the gun
I
safe?
thought I thought that place looked really nice, like the door and the
Dude,
hall.
there's
it all looked nice.
there's like a half an hour scene when they're trying to open the doors, and they're like
Well, I wanted to say-
opening up bullets.
Yeah. They were doing something with the bullet. They were taking out gunpowder from the
Dude,
bullets
I
and
was so
putting it into the
confused.
pipes.
I was like, so they're in this like futuristic. They go through the morgue.
It's like
the
a safe from Dino Crisis.
Yeah, they're messing around in the dorm for a while, and then they figure out that one of the morgue's body container doors is
Oh man, there were
fake.
so many cool shots of them coming out of like those morgue, like body container things, and
After they're shooting
very
at us.
fluid. It was so
Yeah.
cool. Never mind, go on.
So they get
wanted to
in.
mention
So they get in one of the doorways on the morgue where the dead body used to be, and it's a doorway to this underground bunker full of weapons, which were really neatly stacked everywhere. Like it looked like an expo of guns. And,
Yeah, with great
and then
pink
there's-
lights.
And then it's first the hall, and they need to get to the main door open. And first, Alan tries to mess with like some kind of cable that doesn't do anything. So then they have a fight for some reason. Then he's like, "Why don't you let me try?" So then he devises his magical. He finds
Well, because
Like a
Tequila's
weird-
like, ha, you destroying the control panel. That's how we'll get in. Ha, 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 ha. He's like, I'll figure it out.
Then he finds a weird pipe and he unscrews it with his handcuffs.
Yeah,
And then,
Cool,
and
though.
then,
took forever.
It takes him forever, and then they all take out their bullets and take the gunpowder out, and that takes him forever. They put the gunpowder into the pipe, and then he puts a bullet in it. And I was like, "What is he gonna hit the bullet with his like back of his gun? What is he gonna do?"
Yeah,
So he goes
I
further
didn't know
away,
either.
and then he shoots it.
Yep. I thought it was going to explode the whole room.
Yeah, I had no idea. Guess what? It doesn't work.
Yeah,
And then,
So then
and then
Alan
yeah.
hulks. Yeah, he just hulks out of like another cable, and then he connects it, and this opens the
And
door
he's-
while he
he's-
shocks
he's-
and he gets
himself to death.
electrocuted,
Yeah, but
and then we have flashbacks of his old
Flashbacks of his-
partner.
of his old partner dying.
Yeah.
No, but he doesn't die. It's fine.
Dude, there's some really weird flashbacks in this movie.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
and there's lots of
I
still frames.
Well, I want to say
there's a few shots where they don't have a long enough shot of like a close up that they loop it. Did you notice that?
Oh no, I didn't.
It's like 3-second shot, and then
That's
they
funny.
play the 3-second shot again,
Oh no!
just so it extended.
But did you guys notice when they shoot Johnny in the eye, they have a quick cut back to that stupid pipe and the bullet in the pipe?
Yeah. Just to remind you, you see, he
And he's a
learned
straight
from his.
shooter.
He's a straight.
No,
shooter.
because the idea is that he aims at Johnny first, and then he lowers his gun, which is the exact same thing happens with the bullet, because he aims at the bullet, and then he drops his gun, and then he does the
This
gunslinger
is
thing.
such a strange stretch. Like the connection between those two, I failed to see. Like, how is
But
this?
at that
what do you
point,
mean?
it was so obvious that it's going to happen. Like, he's aiming,
Yeah.
and then he gives up, and then he's going to do the quick draw.
Oh, I see.
But then we didn't need the bullet flashback.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Because it happened like 5 minutes ago. We know.
I know it's the style. So anyway, Alan is tragically killed, and then we have this eulogy at the end. Remember that? Where
We don't have a eulogy. They just burned the damn file. That's it.
yeah, very unsafe. By the way, it was like indoors. There was a carpet underneath.
It's true.
When I was watching the movie, I thought, oh well, I guess he died. This is sad.
I thought so too. Like, oh, he's probably dead. And then I was thinking maybe he's not. Maybe he's faking it, because otherwise, why would they show so much of these shots? And then we find out he was faking it. He's going to Bora Bora.
Antarctica,
He's going to
Antarctica,
on
that's
his
where he wanted
little
to go.
sailboat, and credits roll.
and the credits are just like quick, credits.
I love action movies that end so quick. It's like, well, there's nothing else to say.
Well,
What are we
good. That
gonna-
means you like both films. Thank you for listening to Twofold.
No. Delete that first movie.
What else?
Okay,
is there that I
so
don't
would
need
you
to say
recommend
about
this film?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know other John Woo movies. Maybe this is the classic one, but if you're gonna pick one, from my experience, it's a good one to watch. Yeah,
I agree. I enjoyed
Well,
watching
I had
it
to
again.
say that it was
The first
pretty
half
long.
is strange. It's there's these kinds of movies that you don't know about the vibe until much later, and this is definitely one of them where I had to wait a whole half of the film before I'm like, yeah, this is fun. Okay, this is cool.
Phil,
What?
did Cameron steal the roses thing for Terminator?
No, this
yeah,
is.
I
I
was
think
gonna
they
ask
stole it
about
from
that.
Terminator
Oh, really? Okay.
because this is 1992 and
that
Terminator
was
2
after.
is 1990. So they took it
that
from
makes
the
sense.
Terminator.
That was
It was
really
reversed.
reminiscent.
I was hoping
Dude,
it was reversed.
I have to say that his girlfriend, she was pretty cool. She was not damsel in distress.
No,
She was like not taking
she had
any
one of the
shit
best
from him.
lines.
What was it?
Which
What was
was?
the best lines?
He's like, do you want to have all these babies? And she's like, I'm not a machine.
She's
yeah,
like
that's
she's
right.
she's doing her stuff, and then she shoots a guy. She's not taking anything from anyone. She's and she figures out the thing with the fire alarm. That was amazing. As this guy police chief is trying to like flash his badge, like, you will release these people. He's like, I'm not gonna do it with these idiots. I'm just gonna put the fire alarm on. Everyone's safe now. Good on her, lady. You're good.
Yeah, it's
I
good,
like you.
good supporting character.
I can't think of what I wanted to add. There was something else. But
What have you learned
what have I
in
learned?
comparison? Yeah, what did you learn comparing these two
learned
movies?
That this is probably this is actually a good example of a more action oriented film, that you don't need to have a movie with a lot of like deep dialogue, but you can have it feel like it has more depth.
Mhm.
Even though the dialogue or even the thematics of the movie aren't so deep,
Yeah.
it can still feel like it has some weight to it, which is interesting, I thought, with this film. And it's hard to describe, but you can feel it while watching the movie.
There's a gravity to it, which is
Yeah.
never explained, but I guess the way the characters behave and
Yeah.
how they react to things, there is something to it. And at the end, he's running around shooting people with a baby in his hand.
Yeah.
That's
So,
like,
I think
parodies. You
personally-
remember in the Tropic Thunder, there's like a parody trailers. You have what was it called, Scorcher or whatever, and he's like holding babies and killing people. Like that's a ridiculous level, but it's still pretty grounded.
Yeah, so I think that my recommendation would be that if you are more interested in understanding like characters and character studies and what they're personally going through, and more of like a through the eyes of our main hero, this isn't your movie at all. This is not your film. This movie is more like a matter of fact. Doesn't really explain much to you. Is very the characters are all presented externally, not internally.
Yeah,
it's all just it's laid out here. It's sort of bare bones in that sense, and really the movie is sort of your quintessential, cop on the streets battle.
Yeah, but he's a
movie.
charming cop. He's a very charming character.
I'm not saying he's not charming.
He's a
I'm
charming
really not
murderer.
saying that at all. I'm just saying that there's no complexity, behind these characters. It's a very straight type of.
I mean,
of
maybe
film,
Alan
I think.
is a little bit more conflicted. He has moments when he's like angry at the boat and stuff like that, but definitely
angry
not
at
our
the
main
boat.
character. Yeah.
But there's a lot of characters, in this film. To me, it felt like an ensemble kind of movie, rather than like our main guy is really the whole focus of the film. In a
Our main
way,
guy
it
likes
felt
to
almost like our
go
main
play
guy
the
was
flute.
like, it almost felt like, oh, I'm a cop and I'm doing cop stuff and I happen to be here. It's almost like this was a sequel to a movie that came before.
I was wondering that too. Like, did we
Like
miss something?
everyone knows Tequila. Like everyone knows him. He's the hero.
Yeah, like
He's a legend.
this is the Tequila story. This is like his third thing,
yeah, right.
Like in the second
like,
one,
I
we have
couldn't figure that
backstory.
out.
of
It's
Tequila.
interesting. I'm looking at, there's a whole Wikipedia article about Tequila Yen.
Oh my god! I
Maybe
bet there
character.
is.
Maybe he's like a legendary.
So his first movie was in fact Hard Boiled. There's like two more movies with him in
Oh,
it.
okay then. So it's afterwards.
okay.
Oh no, not even two. There's just one more movie.
Oh, okay.
The third one is canceled.
Is this soft boiled?
So,
Oh man, so there's a canceled
Scrambled.
sequel to the
Exactly.
to the second movie of Tequila, and it would have been with Chow Yun Fat, and he would have partnered with, you won't believe this, guys.
Wesley Snipes.
This is a perfect connection. Vin Diesel.
What?
Oh.
Oh, that would have been perfect. It's about the
Yeah.
family. No, it's about killing people. No.
It's about killing people. It's
We have
about
to take two
drinking
guns.
tequilas.
Yeah, tequila slams and then just shooting people. What have you learned, Phil?
Oh, but it's a game. It was a game.
Phil.
Okay. So his second movie is actually also a game.
I thought Phil was like remembering what he learned.
He learned something hard.
No. Okay, so Tequila Yen was in a video game called
Okay.
Stranglehold. That's the next movie. Game, whatever.
What?
What did I learn?
Yeah, well, you learn to compare these two movies.
Comparing these two movies, I learned that I do like it when movies try to take themselves seriously and, well, in a way, seriously, like
I mean, you do
you
and
can
you
tell
don't,
there was some kind of push towards trying to make a film, that is worthwhile, worth your ticket of admission, having a style to it, having flair, having really good action scenes that probably took a lot of time and effort. And then there's other movies which were just hilarious because it was just so incompetent, I guess, as far as storytelling goes.
I think I learned the same thing, but I would like to rephrase it. It's a stark difference between caring and not caring. I think this is something that I've been learning. Like, no matter what your angle is, as long as you care about it, I think the end product will have some value or some kind of quality to it, no matter what your angle is. Your angle
Look
is like, I want to show as many people dying as possible. It is a bizarre angle, but if you really care about that, and you want that, it's gonna
about
somehow
showing
bring value
people
to it.
dying.
Like
I
look
made
at
it
The
really
Room
weird.
or look at
I
Birdemic.
understand, but I understand.
There's some kind of value when you're really surfacing it. Yeah, I guess you guys got some entertainment out of it, but times will not be kind to that kind of movie, definitely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No one's going to
Sure.
bring up Shaw and Hobbs 20 years later and go like, well, why don't we just watch this movie again, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think anyone's gonna bring that movie like 10 days after it was released. I'm not being mean to you, The Rock. You're a nice guy, but come on,
Dwayne.
some effort, Dwayne, little bit.
When did The Rock start using Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
I think he transitioned. It was Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and now it's just Dwayne Johnson. Producer,
He
part
lost
of the
Rock,
Producers
right?
Guild of America.
No. I want to say, when did he start using Dwayne The Rock?
Oh, I think it happened
Movies.
like once he started doing more and more movies, he stopped crediting himself as The Rock.
Because I think for Mummy Returns, it was just The Rock.
Oh, it was The Rock.
Oh, just The
yeah.
Rock. I guess that was the height of his wrestling days.
Yeah, the wrestling.
The wrestling.
All right, well, this was Twofold. I hope you liked it. But we do have something else, don't we? Do we have any comments?
Yeah, we do. So we've been
From our
last two
wonderful
episodes,
people.
We've been begging for reviews on it on Instagram on iTunes because it really helps. Because what we really want to do is get into new and new worthy. Or what was it called? What's it called?
New and noteworthy.
New and
noteworthy. New worthy. Because it's a good boost.
Note and newsworthy.
We want to do this podcast for a while, you know. So and some of you were really nice, and wrote some reviews, and we want to appreciate that. So why don't you guys read some of the reviews that we got in America iTunes? By the way, we went and looked at the most obvious iTunes stores because it's for some reason the reviews are divided into the countries. I don't know why, but it is the way it is. So we had to log into iTunes, other different countries to see the reviews. So we just went for the obvious ones. So if you are from a different country and we didn't talk about you and have a review, let us know. We would like to check it out.
Definitely. Yeah.
Guys, you want to do America?
Let's do it. I'll do the first one. So our first review comes from a Anthony Lantern. Anthony is a cool guy. I believe I follow him on Twitter.
He reviews action figures. It's pretty cool.
Yes, he reviews action figures.
On YouTube, Anthony vlogs.
He's a really cool guy, I have to say. Anthony writes in, funny and informative. I've enjoyed listening to Phil and Jake talk for a few years now. Their latest endeavor into the world of podcasts with Tim is another great installment in their list of ever-growing talking shows. It's funny and informative, packed with info, heart, and a sense of casual charm. Get lost in their conversation and you just might learn something. Thank you, Anthony, for such a nice review.
And
it's such a wonderful review.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we just appreciate such a lovely...
You took your time to write
up.
that. That wasn't like a half-assed,
That was really nice. That was some really kind
good
words. We really appreciate that.
Compared to the second review.
The second review.
Let's just skip that one. Let's just ignore. That never happened.
That never happened.
Doesn't exist. Next.
Yeah,
Phil.
Third one. What?
You don't even have brought up, do you? You're not even looking at it, are you?
Phil.
Phil's just waiting.
I love though. What?
Okay, yeah. Next one is from TFT Writes. Yeah. Love it. 5 stars. 1 out of 1 listeners found this review helpful.
Do we know who this is?
Our friend Joan.
Our friend Joan.
Joan? Thank you.
Joan, thank you very much. For this.
So next one.
3 thumbs up is, in my opinion, much better than 2 and even more better than 1.
It's true. I don't know where you got the third hand, but maybe you're Idris Elba from the movie That Would Be Good, where he has 3 hands and the hand. Why didn't Idris Elba turn into like some god awful CGI abomination?
He should have turned into a scorpion. Yeah,
he should have turned into a Scorpion King with like his really weird muddy face. I would have loved that.
I would have too.
Any reviews from the wonderful land of Canada?
We got one review from Canada from Flobby7. Fluby. I have not seen some of the vowels there. An entertaining comparison of modern cinema and movies from the past. That is very accurate. I'm glad that someone got it. I'm glad that someone got it. Because this gimmick has been hard to get across. A novel concept combined with great chemistry between the 3 co-hosts make this a must-listen. can't wait for the next episode. We're in luck. This is the next episode.
Thank you so much for this review.
Thank you so much because, Canadians speak English, so they can all listen to this podcast. So you are doing your part and you're amazing.
Yes, and Fluby is Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. So much for your review.
Thanks.
You are a good friend. All right, we got some from my home country.
Okay, let's hear some.
Well, here's an interesting one because there's one of a person we don't know and it might be a listener, so we're excited. So we got Addy199.
Mm-hmm.
It's a soundtrack to my commute. These guys really make the ride to work fun. Great podcast to listen to in my BMW M4.
That is cool. We are really excited and privileged that we get to ride with you in your BMW M4.
It's a classy ride.
It's a nice ride.
We got entertaining and fun from Jeda Liga. If you're into movies and long rants about them, this is the perfect podcast. We do rant. I mean, there was a list of grievances.
Not too bad. I like
and
this
then
review too.
Yeah.
And then the unknown person. A man, I guess. I don't know.
Is he a man?
Baltazar. 4 stars out of 5. Controversial.
Okay,
Controversial. Sincere movie review and bonus.
That's good. I like it.
These guys like to talk. I would agree.
Tim, go again, because it sounds like he wrote that.
What? I didn't write this.
No. But it sounds like when he said, "I would agree," we didn't know if that was part of the text.
Oh, I apologize. Yes, that was out of quote. So, quote: "These guys like to talk." Unquote. I would agree. Quote: "Interesting project with plenty of content, movie review and bonus review, older related movies. Keep the culture alive. We will."
We will definitely unquote it.
Unquote. Goddamn it. Unquote.
Keep the culture alive. Unquote. That's
unquote.
But
listen to me, Baltazar.
I don't think we can trust you with your 4 stars.
Listen to me, Baltazar. Your 4 stars. They realism. That's what the sign of realism. Baltazar, I will be my honor and my privilege and my goal mission to keep the culture alive.
We will keep.
I don't know who you are,
but Baltazar, listen, we wanted to say this: if there's anything we can do to make this a 5-star, 5-star rating, please, Baltazar, tell us what we do.
We will keep the culture even more alive. I don't know how, but we will. We have songs. We'll have dance. We'll have dance, my friend. Baltazar, listen to me.
So please let us know, like, what is it? What can we do? What can we do, Baltazar, to help you? To help you, to help us earn that star. So, but thank you so much for writing the review.
All of these reviews are great. Friends and listeners, it really helps.
Friends, Romans, countrymen.
So nice to hear some reviews. Yeah, and you can obviously hit us up on the old iTunesies and throw a review in there. It will be really awesome, and we'll read your review. So if you want, if you want to make us say crazy stuff,
it's true.
Review.
Whatever you write, we'll read it
exactly
out loud on the podcast. And if you want to talk about this episode and give us any notes, we are trying to do the Instagram thing because kids love Instagram. So
kids love it.
We'll do a post on the new episode. And if you have Instagram, look us up. We're Twofold Podcast. And then you can write a comment and we'll write back to you.
Yeah, like let us know if you watched Hard Boiled. What did you think of this?
Or if you watched Hobbs and
Shaw. And you can tell us we're the Hobbin Flabben.
Yep. Leberkiss.
And just comment and we can talk. Let's talk.
Philip, where have you gone?
I'm done talking.
That's true.
Okay. It is late. It is time for sleep.
It is time for bed.
I hear the music in the background.
Or for you, it's time for work. All right, thank you very much. Please go to Instagram and enjoy your life. Yeah. Next time will be different time.
It will be different time next week. No, 2 weeks.
Okay. In the credits of this movie, it said saxophone.
What? What's a saxophone?
I tried to check it. I guess it's just a misspelling of saxophone.
Oh, okay.
I put it on our Instagram.
Is good. Oh, yeah. Okay, good.
Oops.
Ooh, what happened?
I dropped
A
glass.
A glass.
Thankfully, it had nothing on it. But you should check the Instagram.
Okay, I'll check it.
Saxophone.
A saxophone. I'm gonna check saxophone. Instagram. Oh, family. Corona.
Barbecue.
Yeah. Pray for food and then let's see, twofold. Saxophone. Yeah. Synthesizer. Is that correct spelling too? I guess it is.
I don't know. Maybe in British English. Saxophone.
Seen by 13.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad. Not good, but not bad.
Jakey?
Paco's. Yeah, what happened, man?
Hi.
Nasty. Yeah. Good thinking. It's okay. You want a clap sync or something?
Jacob.
Do you need a clap sync? Okay.
I need a clap sync. Okay.
Philip, count.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I'll just do the first scene.
Dear Miss Vanessa Kirby, I know you played in various roles throughout the times of cinema, and I know you graced us with your presence, so everyone sees the majesty of your incredible face. But just know that you are a voraciously gorgeous rapture on the eyes. Please protect and uphold your incandescent profile, your soul-piercing gaze, and transcendent beauty. Also, don't play as Dwayne Johnson's love interest. That was awkward. Me, your admirer, at the end of the podcast.
What the hell? What version do you have? Like some bootleg?
Philip.